Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm beating the hell out of the mic as we start here, Tom. Get you some, Mike. Is that loud in somebody's car?
Lost one eardrum. I'm down to one.
No, you're all right. You've got the settings on your headphones such that wouldn't be too loud. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you miss things. And when you do, you say, I want to catch up. And that's what you do. You go to iTunes. We'll post it there upon the conclusion of the show. And in our own audio vault, feel free to email the program if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you are well. ESPN Tallahassee there. Also, the WTSM app, good for mobile devices. And if you want to Periscope, you can also. Just do so by going to Twitter and following at 979 ESPN Radio. Feel any better on a Balls Big Wednesday? Any better? No? Nope. Or do you? Maybe you convince yourself. Wednesday's the day that people begin, after they've rationalized the many different ways that that what they know to be true might not be true, and then they cling to that hope, and by now they've formulated a way. They formulated a way in which they can explain away the many reasons that what they fear to be true is true, and therefore they'll latch on to this other angle. Usually it's by Wednesday. I noticed that in a rivalry weekend, a rivalry week, whether it's us against Miami or Florida, any of the years where we've gone, gonna be a toughie, that usually is by Wednesday we've got a pretty good handle on how it's possible that the dream can come true.
I've found the angle, but you got to promise me that Landon Dickerson, who's been absent from practice the last 2 days, would actually play on Saturday.
I can't promise you that. I'm not hearing that is happening, but I'm not hearing it's not happening. I'm just saying when a guy's not at practice and he hasn't been at practice and it continues to be the case, there's reason to suspect that perhaps he's not playing. And if he doesn't play, Tom, there's not a way. There's not a path.
No. There was. I found something, but no. You got to be able to block for a little bit of time. And if I read correctly from the morning updates of the practice reports, it's Brady Scott that's working at left tackle for the first team. So hey. I can't draw anything up for you to the good if that's going to be the case.
Because I would argue that even with him, we were in deep trouble. In fact, my comments to you about the game was before there was this feeling that that maybe our best offensive lineman wasn't going to play, that I had already taken Miami.
Yeah.
That's a toughie. Then you find that out, and my goodness gracious, you would maybe, if you were so inclined, race to the nearest bookkeeper.
If you were so inclined.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to get to the bottom of that rumor, too. That is out there, by the way, folks. It's worth noting. I don't always engage in the talk of the rumor mill because sometimes it's irresponsible. I don't think this is. I don't know whether or not Landon Dickerson's going to play in this football game. I don't think there's been anything official released. I do know that starting last night and early this morning, began to hear whispers that he wasn't going to play. Until I hear otherwise, I'm going to assume, in fact, he's not going to play. Now, again, that's nothing official. I have not heard anything official, and I'm not even keeping anything from you that I can confirm 100%. But it's Sports Talk Radio. I'm not writing an article. This isn't in the paper. We're allowed to have an open discussion about some things that have us very concerned, and this is what I'm telling you now. This rumor and this rumbling has me very, very concerned.
What I had found in watching Miami, so I decided to pore over everything that I could find, what Miami was able to do defensively in their wins previous to this game, and their loss, of course, to LSU, is that their linebackers, while really, really good, will over-pursue crazy.
Fast teams do that.
They will sell, but I'm talking like nuts, where the middle of the field, like kind of things we saw this past weekend against Louisville, you have all kinds of space, but then that would raise the question, philosophically speaking, that we come back to from yesterday and Monday. Are you willing to throw the football a little bit more? Because it looks like you can manipulate Miami's linebackers to flow with whatever direction you're faking at all times. At all times. Unless they're in standard zone coverage, if they have a choice, they are coming downhill to the line of scrimmage. And you could take advantage of that. But the problem is, if you're not going to have Landon Dickerson, Well, now both tackle positions are huge issues, more than they already were, and they already were an issue.
I talked yesterday on the show before we had this discussion about the middle of the field being the area that I wanted to attack because I'd seen hints that Miami did over-pursue and did allow for that. The vulnerable underbelly, if you will, was in the middle, especially if you had a quarterback with legs. But ours has been a guy that doesn't look like the same player that he was 2 years ago post-injury, obviously. So, that's a toughie.
Well, from what I can gather in watching, sometimes it's irresponsible linebacker play, and sometimes they're just in straight man because they have better athletes than who they're playing. So if the tailback is, going to carry out a fake for the quarterback, well, the linebacker's job is to, obviously in that moment, follow the tailback. But if you're just trying to manipulate somebody, a slot defender, as you see in standard zone read type offenses, which we're trying to become, you hit somebody in the seam because you get the linebacker to bite up.
Yeah.
You can do that all day against this team. You got to have time, though, to be able to do that. And you got to be able to successfully run the football without, a fifth or sixth man coming in. So if you can beat Miami in the trenches straight up at that point, then they have to honor it and they have to play honestly.
Yeah, we got no chance to do that.
You probably don't, especially, again, if you do not have Landon Dickerson available to you.
What teams do when they're outclassed is a lot of that class. A lot of teams do this, the misdirection stuff and the over pursuit of a defense or a team with speed. They utilize that against them. You see this a lot, right? That's what you do when you're outmanned, you're outgunned. You do a lot of trickeration, if you will, and to get teams to over pursue, to get teams to trigger and then reverse course. And yeah, I agree that that's an idea, but you can run gimmicky things and you can do things to offset weakness that help you in the moment for only so long before adjustments are made, before they stop honoring the fakes, before they decide, we got to stay home, fellas. They're not really doing what they're telling us they're doing, are they? And then you got to have real football plays.
In just watching Miami play for play over the last month, it's Joe Jackson, the defensive end, that does a great job of staying at home on the backside, but the linebackers at the next level do not. And you see certain moments where receivers can take absolute advantage of Miami's secondary. I know it's heralded, I know it's athletic, but there are times when you can generate looks just by putting a move on somebody. There are opportunities there. So it's very frustrating that you spend the morning and you're looking at stuff and you're saying, ooh, okay, there's at least an opening here. There's a weakness there. Miami is certainly a better team top to bottom than Florida State is right now, but there are things that you can pick on, and it feels like it's gone. Because if you can't get any time at all in protection, we're better in pass pro than we are in run blocking, especially with Landon Dickerson. We saw this past weekend.
Much better, much better.
But if it's 59 on the edge and not Landon, and that's your left tackle, and then who's your right tackle? I don't even know. Bello? Oh, boy. That's a problem.
It's a weird week. There's such a lack of buzz, partly because the game's down there, and whenever that's the case, you don't get the same euphoria around town, right? Because we all eagerly anticipate Miami coming to town and being in that stadium and seeing those colors clash on that great field of ours and all the tradition that precedes it. But you have that element, but then also I do think there is an element of hopelessness, and it's because the wins you have aren't good ones. Two of the three teams are whatever. I mean, obviously you should beat Samford, and we struggled to do it, and Northern Illinois is not any good, and, you won that game, but it was still a game in the second half, and Louisville, it took a minor miracle, and I don't think that Louisville team is going to be bowl eligible. So a lot of this is, okay, well, hey, I'll openly tell you right now, and I did say this before the Louisville game, that if you had come to the conclusion that by the bye week, let's say after the Syracuse game, if I had walked in here and told you, but going into the bye week, we'd be 3-3. I'm talking about after the Syracuse game.
Yeah, after the Syracuse game.
If I walked in here and said, I know for a fact we're going to be 3-3 by the time we get to the bye week, would you take it? And I think everybody would have said yes.
My answer would be it sucks to lose to Miami, but, at this point, I'll take it. Yes.
You're right, because it would have assumed a win, of course, over Northern Illinois and Louisville, which after the Syracuse game, how many people were willing to assume those wins? I mean, I don't think an overwhelming majority of people would have said, yes, Jeff, I feel very good about us winning the next two games.
No, they would have been crazy at that point.
Right.
What do you have to go on to give you that hope?
I picked us against both Northern Illinois and Louisville because when we're not outclassed on the offensive line, we have a chance to beat the average to bad teams in this conference, and certainly in out-of-conference games against foes that don't match up athletically out on the perimeter. I thought, okay, we can win those games Admittedly, I thought they might be close. Turned out to be. But I thought we could win them. But I never thought that we were going to line up and beat a Miami or a Clemson, not after what was revealed early in the season. Then you realize. So this is just a fulfillment of what you already know, and yet it's not acceptable, certainly not when it's game week.
Well, at that time, a couple of things had changed. The aforementioned Landon Dickerson was not thought to be available by the Miami game, let alone the Louisville game. But then he came back for Louisville. And what we learned for UNI week, I think we both picked Florida State to beat UNI and even cover. But what we learned that weekend is that Louisville is a lot worse than Virginia, which gives you more hope heading into Louisville week. That new information buoys you a little bit. Then Dickerson plays the offensive line, pass pro-wise. It's not terrible. I mean, DeAndre did get hit. He didn't get sacked, but he got hit a lot. So you think, okay, I mean, stranger things have happened. But the problem is if you're missing that key cog, you're not even in a position for strange things to happen.
Yeah, I don't like not being equipped to compete with a rival. I mean, I feel like it's emasculating to kind of line up and realize I can't win the line of scrimmage or even break even there, because then what are we talking about? I really can't run anything, and this is the problem. We're going to have this conversation for as long as the year goes on. I mean, it's just you cannot change certain elements of where you're weak.
So according to the beat this morning, Abdul Bello has a wrap on his hand, and so he was not rotating in with what they saw, what they were allowed to observe.
Right.
First team O-line, the tackle at left was Brady Scott, and Jawan Williams was flexing between.
Was Kelly back? Kelly was back, right?
Kelly was back practicing with the guards, but it looked like he was working his way up. He was ramping up. But what do? I mean, you play him at tackle? Play him at right? Still, that puts Brady at left.
He can't play both, my friend.
No, he can't play both. And honestly, the Syracuse game showed that he can't really play tackle anymore. So, and he's got a bum knee. So what do you want to do here?
Give the 13. I'm going to give the 13 is what I'm going to do, Tom. And then I'm going to ride. And I hate it. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be sitting in the stands at 3:30 in the afternoon. You think about me, people. You think about me, my friend, Tom Lang. You think about it. And you know what? You send positive vibes my way, because it's going to take everything I got.
You need that hole in the stadium roof to just be pouring for 3 hours so that there's 10 fumbles in this game, and hopefully we get 7 of them.
Deluge, wind picking up, unforeseen tropical storm action here at Hard Rock Stadium. You can barely see the two teams competing in the game, folks. Here we sit, tied at 3 late in the fourth. It's a slop fest. Oh, then I'll be loud and proud right there at the 50. Come on. Prolong the agony. All I ask, and all my, the expectation I have and the hopes and dreams and wants and wishes that I hold today is that somehow, some way, be it through miracle game plan, Herculean effort from guys whose pride kicks in a rivalry game, even those that are ordinarily incapable, meaning that offensive line, married with the fears and pent-up frustrations and years and years and years and years of failures on the part of the Miami Hurricanes to protect their home field. How many times they've been stripped of their dignity in their own backyard as hometown kids who made their way to a better city and a better university came back home to knock them off in their backyard. To have to sit and think about that and the weight of it as it builds quarter by quarter. My hope is that there in the fourth quarter, it is a one-score game. And that crown, that history, it weighs heavy. And they begin to press. And a kid who's never been in a moment like this, a kid who's never had to come through for a football team, desperate in need of validation, decides that I got to make this throw. I got to make this play. And it's not there, N'Kosi Perry. It's not there. And you go down in history as the kid that let it continue. Let the demons continue to fester. That allowed for Florida State faithful to make fun of you for yet another couple of years, which is bordering on 20 already. My God. That might not be something you could overcome. That might be devastating.
That's too much for DMX.
It is. It's just too much for the whole of Miami to accept. it would be a crippling loss for that program and for Mark Richt, who so often in years past, no matter where he's been, found a way to lose to teams that had no business, Trayon Harris, knocking off those Georgia clubs. It led to him needing to get out of town. The folks in Athens said, I've seen too much. Too many times we've been the vastly superior team, and this guy, scared of his own shadow, couldn't make it happen. He had to take it back to Miami. Maybe, just maybe, Tom, my dream comes true, my hopes, my wishes, their greatest fears. They all culminate in a glorious moment where we're tied at 10 in the fourth. Fans in that stadium at the Hard Rock looking around at one another. What is happening here?
It's eerily quiet here.
What is happening?
What a difference from 2.5 hours ago.
Steve, hand me that Four Loko. I am very concerned. Maybe you get something along those lines. They try, hoping against hope, to blare more DMX. Somehow latching on to the DMX mantra would make it happen, make it real. But alas, there we are on the 30-yard line with 30 seconds to play. Tears in the eyes of Canes everywhere as they go, it's not happening, it's not happening. We're going to continue to lose to these bastards. They've owned us, they've beaten us down, they've made fun of us, and they've taken our women, and we can't do anything about it.
The tag on their wife beater is starting to itch a little bit more. They notice it. They didn't notice it before, but now they do because they're bugged about everything.
And they turn their hat from backwards to forward, and they say, pass me the drugs. Whatever you got, maybe, just maybe.
Maybe we should curve the bill.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Online at SeaQuartersMarina.com.
Makita cordless specials are heating up at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener in October. Buy a Makita brushless premium 5 amp hour kit with 2 batteries and get a 6 amp hour battery free. Plus, get your choice of the following: brushless recip saw, circular saw, 1/2-inch impact drill, or a Bluetooth radio. Get rid of the gas with the Makita outdoor power equipment. Buy a brushless chainsaw or blower kit and receive 4 5 amp hour batteries and a dual bay chamber. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener with 2 locations to choose from: 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays 8 until noon.
This is the cigar event you've been waiting for. Jerry's Cigar Shop brings to you the legendary Christian Aurora, master blender and owner of CLE Cigars. Friday, October 5th, at their Cary Forest shop. Bring a friend and come enjoy some live music, cold beer, and great grub from Tallahassee's very own food truck, Tally Mac Shack. You won't want to miss out on exclusive giveaways and a huge raffle. Mark your calendars now for the biggest cigar party yet at Jerry's Cigar Shop on Friday, October 5th. Only at their Cary Forest shop.
You started a DIY project at home.
Then you realize convenience isn't always easy. The why in DIY doesn't mean why is this so hard. At ADT, we DIFY, do it for you. We customize and install a secure smart home that you control from the palm of your hand or the sound of your voice. Smart security, designed and installed just for you with ADT. Visit ADT.com/smart to learn more. License information available at ADT.com. ADT, real protection.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the social agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
It's Golick and Wingo.
They lose Earl Thomas to a fractured lower leg. Earl Thomas had been involved in a holdout for much of the offseason, had come back begrudgingly, was kind of fighting tooth and nail with management.
Wasn't practicing.
And now likely plays his last snap as a Seahawk and send him into free agency in the exact position he was trying to avoid.
This one has the added extra when he was on the cart, getting carted off. He flipped the bird off. We can't sit there and say where it went.
We need a direct quote from Earl to figure that out.
Yeah, it's exactly. But it's certainly like it was directed toward the Seattle Seahawks sideline. Well, we know there's animosity. He has basically said that. He said, they don't have my back. I'm not practicing if I don't feel like I'm 100%, and I only believe in me. They don't. So that may have been the farewell message for Earl Thomas to the Seattle Seahawks.
The only good news here for Earl, you'd much rather break a bone than tear a ligament.
Yep.
That's less of a concern about a broken bone.
I'd rather have that break than have blown out my ACL.
Correct, or Achilles or something.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
People brought this up this week. You have to pick one favorite UM-FSU game memory at Jay Cameron Show at _Tom Lang, #A-hole. Oh, I don't know. 93, 99, any year that led to us winning a national championship, and in the midst of it all, we beat them.
#A-hole.
Is always satisfying, but maybe that is only because we went on to go do that. I mean, I said it on Seminole Headlines this week. I actually have fond memories of a 26-25 loss to them because of the day. Because I would spend it with my dad and his close friends in the tailgate, and I was young, and so just being a part of it, and also seeing the athletes on the field. One thing that does happen over time, they always talk about the respect shown for the two programs and what they've represented and all of that. 1987, I'm in high school, and I go to this game, and I'm with my dad, and we're tailgating, and it's 19-3 Florida State, and I can still remember the atmosphere. I can still remember the sounds and the weather and the feeling I had. And a lot of this is nostalgic, but I remember it even still. And then, obviously we end up losing that game 26-25 and a fourth quarter comeback, and it's brutal and all that. But both teams are in the top 5 in that game, and it was just an incredible game and going for the win, and it's broken up. And I remember that. I mean, hell, I remember beating them in '89. I was in attendance for Wide Right 1 and 2 and 3. So, yeah.
I have an odd one. It was a road game. It was one of the building blocks of this streak right now where Miami has not beat us in their building since 2004. It's been several buildings over that
a long time, Tom. A long time.
Span of time. But it was 08, which is Ponder in the Rain. Remember that?
Oh, he runs wild.
He runs wild. We get out to a huge lead at halftime.
Come all the way back. It doesn't feel as close as the final score indicated. It never felt that close to me.
It got that way.
Yeah.
Miami got within 2, and then they got within 2 one more time before the end of the game. They got it to 34-32. But we had, I think it was a 3rd and goal from the 20. Anton Smith with a long touchdown. I just love that game because we made an early statement. We kind of took them out of it, and then we poisoned them with hope the entire second half, and then ripped it away again at the last moment. That, in an odd way, is its own type of doubly satisfying.
I can't believe it was a terrible football game, just a terrible football game, but the Miami Muff in 05 is, I can't believe that's 13 years old. That's such a terrible game. Both teams sucked to high heaven, but there was sweet justice, right, in them having a special teams mishap to end the game. The Muff was hilarious.
Yeah, I watched that one from my dorm room at Iona College.
But I don't think, my favorite memories of this rivalry, and I'm 47. There are people a lot older than me that go back much further. But, again, I'm going into the mid to late 80s is where it starts to pick up steam for me because the caliber of the programs are improving and the level of talent on the field at that time is such that there are NFL players everywhere. And my dad is taking me to games, of course, and I'm in attendance for these games. And I've taken a lot of road trips down to Miami. I used to go down to the old Orange Bowl and go to those games too. And those experiences, even when they came out, we came out on the wrong end, they added the memories. It's my favorite rivalry. If you're of a certain age, this is the rivalry. It's not Florida. Now, the Florida rivalry, I understand, historically speaking, is everything to a lot of people. And it's a big rivalry. There's no getting around that. And I've been to all of those games, too, in classic moments. I mean, hell, I'm down there at Ben Hill Griffin when Warrick Dunn makes the catch, and it happens. There I am in the stands, pelvic thrusting. All of that happens. I was there in 97 during the heartbreak, and my buddy Kobe and I sitting there on the 40-yard line, surrounded by Gators, going, so this is how our national championship dream is going to end. This nonsense here. Yeah, I remember all of that. So you have these great memories, and that's what it is to be part of a fan base and an alumni base and a group that supports Florida State football. That is, when you're elite, you play in a lot of big-ass games. Some go your way, some don't, and you have hang-ups with some teams, and certainly for a long time it was Miami. But, man, if you are of that, late 80s into the 90s group of people like me, you saw this rivalry at its height. You saw those two teams loaded, number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in the country every time they faced, and you saw epic matchups. And so my memories are of the wins and losses of that era, say from, 87 through 99, if you will.
It occurs to me that I did not see Florida State beat Miami with my own eyes until 2013.
Jesus.
Because every time they came up here, I mean, think about it. 09, they beat us. That was the last-second thing. 11, that was Kirby Freeman. 13, we beat him, but it was workmanlike. It was never really all that satisfying. There was one satisfying play, and it was
41-14 when we beat their ass and didn't play well.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was a glorious moment.
I wanted to win that thing 63-7, which is we were capable of doing that, and we just didn't look at
because we didn't respect them. We didn't think they could play.
It was the screen call to Devonta Freeman. We were heading towards the student section. It was close to halftime, I think. But it was a great call. Jimbo always had a knack for calling that play at the right time. But I think that means that the most emotional I was to watch a victory, I sat in the stands behind the Miami bench for 2015, the Everett Golson game. That was first play, pitched Dalvin Cook.
29-24 in a game that Everett Golson actually makes a glorious throw on third down that we would have – I mean, Everett Golson didn't do much here.
It was near midfield. It was to Bobo Wilson.
And it's a great throw.
Yeah.
Probably the best throw he ever made.
For us?
For
absolutely.
us, by far.
Yeah.
He made several great throws when he was with Notre Dame here.
The year before.
Yeah, but no, that year he made a lot of good that year he didn't make many good throws for us, but that game he did. Yeah.
That game ended up being emotionally charged because we couldn't get out of our own way in the red zone.
Yeah.
Remember, there was a young Auden Tate who ends up breaking his foot, who we tried to throw to. He's wide open, and Golson missed him in the first half.
Yes, he did.
And then Auden Tate turned out to be a pretty damn good player years later.
I will say an underrated moment for me in this rivalry that I don't think about nearly as much as I should, and I think many years from now I will, was 30-26 in Miami Gardens, being in the stands with my best friend on the 50, listening to their fans, thinking for sure they were going to, that it was going to happen, and then we come back to
They would end the winning streak, all of that stuff.
All that, and then just, nope, more agony for them. And then going out to the parking lot and listening to two Miami fans screaming at each other as the one guy was certain that they were never going to win again, and the other guy was telling him that he was drunk and irrational and he needed to shut up, and that this is how the series goes. It's a series of streaks, and he could remember back when they owned us, and he was like, think back to the early 2000s. What's wrong with your memory? We won every game all the way through 04 and 05, and weren't you at those games? And, we can't win nothing. They're going to continue to beat us, and it was hilarious.
Terry, then you talk to me about that. Okay. You gotta give us a shot. You know what? You gotta give us a shot.
Is this what it sounded like?
Yes. They were screaming at each other, and we were giggling as we were grabbing a beer out of the cooler.
Know the situation, Terry. Why don't we get a shot, Terry? Because that makes it worse. Terry, that makes it fucking worse. I know it. But MLB did nothing to that guy. Nothing. Okay, that I can't.
Okay, I'll grant you that. Yeah, it's this guy going, it does suck to lose again to those bastards. I get it. That's fair.
Terry, listen, I'm telling you, our ass is in the jackpot now. Okay, I'm just telling you. You know what? That's you got it.
But unfortunately, it's this fan base, and it's me telling you that our ass is in the jackpot right now.
If you're going somewhere, take an Uber. Just take an Uber. Yeah. Terry, you can't drive.
Luckily, when I'm down in Miami, I don't drive anywhere. I'm good to go. I park my car, and I got people.
You park your car where you're staying for the weekend.
That's right. It doesn't get moved again until I leave Sunday. I'm good. I'm not driving anywhere, and we're all good. We got people. Everything's gonna be all right. Just going places, and it'll be.
That's gonna be an interesting trip, man. I hope that treats you well. I hope you're sitting in a good area. That really matters. You can sit in high-priced areas and have, canes. Those kinds of canes.
Well, the ones that graduated from Miami are reasonable people. They're usually doctors and or dentists and things like that. Those are good Miami fans.
Yes,
they went to the school.
Money is no object for a lot of Canes fans. I'm just saying.
Well,
it all depends on who you're sitting around. I hope you get a good group.
Well, I've got my people, and we're good. I'm surrounded by them, and then the other group that's around them, if you're anywhere near the 50, you're all right. You're usually pretty okay. I think we may upgrade. We may be in a suite. I'm not really just.
Well, if you are, then you're going to be fine.
All will be well. Everything will be all right. It's no, but I'm also at a different place. I'm going into the stadium, and you know this, Tom. When you enter in, where does disappointment come from? Right? When expectations aren't met. That's the whole thing. Well, I have zero expectations.
Yeah, but losses happen for a reason.
They do.
When people start talking, it doesn't matter if you knew that something was going to happen. You're still there, and you still have to hear it.
Yeah, but the absurdity.
Hear it.
The only thing is, though, in your early 20s, you fire back at the kind of idiocy you're referencing. In your late 40s, married with 2 kids, you just let idiots be idiots and laugh at them. You just laugh. You're just, really? Okay. Feel good, buddy. It's
all right. You say that on Wednesday.
You do. That's what you do. You just kind of, and again, I'm walking into that stadium with zero expectations. When losses do happen for a reason, right? I bring it up all the time. But having said that, if I walked in there thinking this was going to be a close game, and then we lose a game 16-13 because we do something colossally stupid or make a poor decision or, botch a snap or something ridiculous. Yeah, that's tough to take. That's really, but I'm not going in there thinking that. I'm not going into this game thinking anything but to me, if we lose, look, I'm going to yell for my school. I'm doing all that, right? I'm going to be there. But if we lose 41-10, that's not going to surprise me. I'm going to go, well, that's about how I thought this would go.
That's the on-the-field part, though.
The only problem I see for me is if I go down there and they shock me, they stun me. We're tied at 27 with a minute and a half to play with a legitimate chance to
27?
win. Oh, my God, the offense is flowing. We've got something working, Tom. We've shocked the hell out of them. They put one on the ground. We scooped and scored.
Yeah,
some things happened.
To get to 27 at that point
in
the game.
Some things have happened, Tom, that I didn't anticipate. Maybe. And the next thing you know, we're right there with a shot to win, and it's on the line.
Maybe they got lucky, or DJ got lucky, and
took it to the house, and nobody called a penalty.
And, three dudes fell down, because they're going to get there quickly, or they just ran past him because they thought it was a fair catch.
No, Nkosi throws a pick six. He telegraphs it. Next thing you know, a little bit of fumble luck comes back our way because it's been dead set against us. They put one on the ground.
First and goal at the 10.
Next thing you know, boom, we score, and hey, all of a sudden, all that weight I talked about, it's mounting, and the pressure is too much. Here we are with a chance to win.
First and goal at the 10.
We're going deep.
How you playing it?
Oh, our ball, first and goal at the 10?
Yep, sudden change. What's your call?
How much time's left in the game, Tom?
Oh, it's early in the game. There's plenty of flow. First and goal at the 10, but you're trying to get on the board, set the tone. I go Trayshawn Harrison end around. That's what I do.
No, we're not running trick plays from the 10, Tom. Mm-hmm. We're not running trick plays.
I'm not running right at him, and I don't have enough time to block it up.
We're not running trick plays from the 10. I'm going to go ahead and do what we did against Virginia Tech and didn't hit on. I'm going to run that little corner, that little elbow with my running back, and I'm going to hit him in the middle of the field. He's going to make a play.
Oh, the angle route?
Yeah, a little angle, a little elbow. We're all right. That's what I'm hitting right there.
As long as it's not Jaquez.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, it's not Jaquez, no.
I'm just saying an end around to Trayshawn Harrison is not a trick play. That's a smart play.
It's a trick play from the 10.
That dude's got some skills.
Don't have enough room. No, he's
got a jab step. He's got it all.
He does. I'm not running damn reverses and end arounds inside there.
Maybe a jet. I don't mean how about a jet? Excuse me.
Yeah.
A jet. I didn't mean end around.
I don't know. I'm not worried about it. If we're in that position, honestly.
Well, you're not running right up the middle on 1st and 10 from the 10.
Yeah, man. We're going goal line. Get you some of this right here. I'm under center for the first time all season. Here's a lot of what for coming straight at you, setting the tone.
Wait a minute. Why is 88 the second tight end of the formation?
It's
my God.
11.
It's an end around.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Roofing is rewarding, but it's not exactly a bed of roses. It's a very dirty job, subject to the environment, working on 98-degree summer days, dodging rainstorms, working on steep slopes like a mountain goat. At Parker Brothers, our skilled workers have chosen this challenging trade as their career choice. These are the people that you want working on your roof. We've been servicing the community since 1995. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
CGC 042221. CCC 049350.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
Headed to the new Gordos, cause Eddie hit a home run just like the old Gordos. Ooh.
Jeff, I'm sitting right here, man. Why do you always speak about me in the third person?
Loving the new Gordos.
You gotta quit singing, man.
Got the outside deck. When the weather shifts, I'm gonna sit outside at the new Gordos.
Are we ever gonna get there? Can you speed up, please?
Lots of TVs.
1460 Market Street.
Woohoo!
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and it's Truck Month at Kraft Nissan. 2018 Frontier King Cab S models with automatic transmission start at only $20,495. Compare that to the Toyota Tacoma King Cab SR model with automatic transmission. At invoice minus rebates, Tacoma starts at $24,646. That's $4,151 more than our Frontier. Or the full-size Titan and Titan XD, starting at only $20,995 for a 2018 Titan Single Cab S model. Even better, just $26,995 for a 2018 Titan Crew Cab S model. And it's only at Kraft Nissan. Plus, the Nissan Titan has America's best truck warranty of 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. So please, before you buy a Dodge, Chevy, Ford, or Toyota, check out the Nissan Frontier and Titan trucks. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge and Nissan Conquest or Loyalty Truck Cash.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. We get it. You're used to a certain kind of lemon lime experience. But why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Take this last second shot? Or make the last second shot? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, last second shot, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Do your hair a favor by checking in online and arriving just in time for your Sport Clips MVP haircut experience while you surround yourself with sports on TV, a great cut, massaging shampoo, and a hot steam towel. Claim your spot today. SportClips.com/check-in.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Buck Showalter is out as Orioles manager and won't return to the team in any capacity next season. Baltimore coming off a franchise-worst 47-115 record and was just the fifth team in the major since 1900 to lose 115 games or more in a season. Baseball spotlight on the Bronx tonight when the Yankees will host the A's in the American League wildcard game. Luis Severino and Liam Hendricks. Severino looking for a wildcard do-over. He slumped in the second half this season, but the Yankees believe in Severino tonight, according to ESPN's Mark Teixeira.
He can throw 100 miles an hour with a wipeout slider. He's a guy that can maybe only go 3 or 4 innings if the Yankees, maybe even less, if the Yankees need him to get to the bullpen. Yep. And then that wipeout bullpen can take it from there. So look for the Yankees to try to jump out early. Severino, give them a few good ones, hand it over to the bullpen.
First baseman Greg Bird not on the Yankees wild-card roster. They're instead opting for Luke Voigt, who's hit .333 with 14 home runs and 33 RBI in 39 games since his trade from the Cardinals. Coverage of the AL wildcard game, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NFL Jags running back Leonard Fournette, still dealing with an injured hamstring, will not play this Sunday against Kansas City. TJ Yeldon and Corey Grant will get the bulk of the work in his place. Falcons expect running back Devontae Freeman to practice fully this week and return to the field against the Steelers, barring any setbacks with his injured knee. That injury has kept him out the last 3 games. Viking coach Mike Zimmer said that he has no clarity on when defensive end Everson Griffin will return. Griffin is away from the team as he receives mental health treatment. On opening night in the NHL tonight, the Capitals will raise the first Stanley Cup championship banner in team history before they take on the Bruins at home.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
For tuning to it, happy Balls, Big Wednesday. Hope you're well. I hope people aren't getting too down. I don't want to be, I owe it to you to tell you exactly what I think, even when I get it right or wrong, doesn't matter, right? So I don't think we're going to be very competitive, and I've said it all week, and I think that some people are like, come on, man, where's your faith? No, it's not about faith, man. It's about whether or not you can win the game based on the personnel you have. And our personnel is not as good as their personnel right now. So when that's the case, typically speaking, you need a little help. It's not that you can't win the football game, but I'm certainly not going to predict us to when I don't think we can block it up.
But the problem is you hope people aren't too down, but you got to understand if they are down. Because if they're listening to your descriptions, they're saying, well, why even care anymore? This is ridiculous.
I mean, you always care. You care about your team. You care about your school. You care about how they're doing, and that doesn't change no matter what kind of season you're having. I mean, we haven't had to go through this. We haven't been in a situation where there's a real chance, a very real chance you have a losing record. We had to go through it last year, lest we forget. We were in the middle of this last year. At this time last year, we did not have 3 wins on the ledger, folks. We were in the middle of a complete free fall. Jimbo had given up on the program and begun to court another job and had turned his back on the student athletes that he recruited, the university, and its alumni and fan base. And that includes the city and everybody else involved. So not only were we screwed by the head coach. So that's where we were a year ago at this time. And, you got to think back. It's tough, but remember the lack of hope that you had moving forward. But this is, relatively speaking, very new to us to have back-to-back seasons like this where we're just an also-ran in the ACC. And this isn't even a good version of the ACC. It was a few years ago, but this ACC sucks. There's one good team in this conference. It's Clemson, and I don't know that they're the juggernaut I thought they'd be. Miami's decent, better than I thought they'd be, but they're not elite. And then after that, you got nothing. Who's the third best team in the ACC? Name it. Who's the third best team in the ACC? Is it Boston College? They're not great. Virginia Tech? Okay. They lost to Old Dominion as a 28.5-point favorite who hadn't beaten anybody, who had lost to Liberty. No, who's the next best team in this league?
Whatever the answer is, it just proves how bad the ACC is.
It's awful. It's awful. So we're bad in a bad conference. We're having a terrible year in a year in which it would be easier to have a pretty decent season because the other teams in the conference suck.
However, if you got to be bowl eligible this year, it would be a positive step from last season.
Hugely positive. I think what's tough, Tom, too, there's a climate of real mounting concern about the athletic department. You cannot overlook the fact that, look, they're going through budget cuts. And everybody can debate about what that means. It was another one today. So people can debate if they want. Yeah, another one today. Email was sent out. Coaches across the board got word of yet another budget cut on top of the one they already had. So what ends up occurring here is maybe to a degree, and by the way, that could just be being fiscally responsible after Jimbo and his staff spent way too much money, which is accurate, by the way, and we're allowed to do it. And what that creates is resentment from the other coaches in every sport because now that guy got to do it. Well, listen, that's how football works. Football is always going to get the lion's share of the money, as it should, and we understand that. But what then happens when, because they were fiscally irresponsible and because we were losing 3 and 4 games a year under Jimbo Fisher and people weren't renewing season tickets, then all of a sudden you're not able to make that back up. Ideally, if you're going to let them spend over budget, then you win a bunch of games and you make it up at the gate. Season ticket sales go up, people buy more shirts, people come in and they're in a good mood to watch your product, so they travel into town and they spend a lot of money on concessions and they do all the things that comes with being a great booster for a winning program, and you make your money back. Well, that didn't happen. Didn't happen because we lost 3 games and we lost 3 games and we lost 6 games, and now we're in the midst of losing a lot of games. Or at least we're probably going to lose a lot of games. So they're looking ahead, and they're saying, listen, we got to get a hold of this. We got to take responsibility here. We got to be more fiscally responsible. But all that happens is you get chatter and rumor and fear in the midst of a losing season, and people go, wait a minute. Well, what in the world is going on here?
On their face, budget cuts suck because that means you have to tell people no for either 2 reasons. 1, they can't work here anymore, or 2, they can't do activity X.
They can't go out and get the things they need. And every coach thinks they need more than they have, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they just think they do. But either way, it creates a negative atmosphere.
But you're right. The cuts themselves aren't necessarily
It doesn't speak to a financial crisis. It speaks to getting responsible about where we're at. And the new guy that is the acting athletic director is going to be that, responsible with the money. He knows the deal.
He's looking at the numbers and saying, guys,
this doesn't add up. We can't do this.
Thanks for this friggin' mess.
Yeah. And, oh, by the way, they're in no hurry to get rid of him and hire somebody else, partly because we're in the middle of football season and they can't. I'm not saying he's not qualified. He is qualified. I'm not sure he wants the job, but that's the situation you find yourself in where he's an interim for a long time. He's going to be as long as he'll stay there, he's going to be a long-time interim. You can't get anybody to come here right now.
An interim with 4 M's? Interim.
You can't get anybody to come here right now. It's the middle of football season. Who the hell's leaving their job as athletic director? They're not. And you have a unique set of circumstances here with the way the money works.
Yeah. So let the dust settle on the baseball program, change over there.
Now, the good news is they are way ahead of the curve when it comes to raising money for the football-only facility. That's going to happen. They're about to make big announcements on that. You've got huge contributions coming in from some big-time donors. So they're probably ahead of the game there, Tom. So it's not all, doom and gloom. All I know is
you're just resetting the parameters.
Right.
Yes.
What I'm saying, though, again, is that when you're in the midst of a bad season and then word leaks out that there are budget cuts and certain things, there's a freeze on spending here and, guys need something for the program. They get told no. That stuff leaks out. That doesn't stay down for long because people want to talk. They're angry. And they say, well, ordinarily, if I need this or I need that, I just go get it, or I tell my staff to go get it, or we have this for the player, or we got to have this for the facility. We got to have this for, our grounds crew guy who just left. We got to have all these things that have to happen, right? And then
he did.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense, given the way the field looked for you and I.
So, there you go, right? And it all adds up to a level of consternation that I think makes people even more comfortable, above and beyond what's fair. Now, what I don't like is that when that happens, through no fault of his, a new head coach has come in and been asked to change the culture behind the scenes, change the locker room, get kids to go back to class because we were on the verge of losing scholarships because the kids weren't going to school. The kids weren't going to class. But when you hire a guy and you tell him you got to do all of that and we need you to win games, while we cut your budget. It's not a level playing field, my man. Good luck with that. That's tough, right? And what happens to coaches that come in and have to clean up locker rooms? They get fired 4 years later. That's what the hell happens.
So I hope everybody's feeling okay today, not doom and gloom about
I want
things.
everybody to have a greater understanding, a big picture understanding. It doesn't mean it can't work. It doesn't mean they can't win. It doesn't mean they won't get it turned around. It doesn't mean we're going to be, down for an extended period of time. It doesn't mean that. It sounds like it does, but it doesn't. It just makes going through this year tougher, because you have these external factors that concern you to go along with the product on the field not being very good. And that all adds up to a fan base, rightfully, wringing their hands and wondering where this is going.
The Elite Eight basketball team starts in about 4.5 weeks.
Thank goodness they're bringing something to the table, huh? Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
When the Knowles are on the road, 97.9 ESPN Radio has you covered. Your ESPN Tallahassee Watch Party headquarters is Hobbit American Grill on West Pensacola.
Intercepted! Levante Taylor! He's gonna take it the distance!
Giveaways, contests, food and drink specials, and more. Sports Monster Watch Parties. All this year at Hobbit American Grill on West Pensacola. When the Knowles hit the road, head to Hobbit with us.
Makita cordless specials are heating up at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener in October. Buy a Makita brushless premium 5 amp hour kit with 2 batteries and get a 6 amp hour battery free. Plus, get your choice of the following: brushless recip saw, circular saw, half-inch impact drill, or a Bluetooth radio. Get rid of the gas with the Makita outdoor power equipment. Buy a brushless chainsaw or blower kit and receive 4 5 amp hour batteries and a dual bay chamber. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener with 2 locations to choose from: 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays 8 until noon.
Hey, it's autumn, and it's time for the Autumn at Aaron's event when just $5 gets you started. That's right, just $5 gets you started leasing to own furniture, electronics, and appliances from brands you love. GE, Philips, LG, and more. With no credit needed and free delivery and setup. Visit your local Aaron's store or aarons.com now through October 11th. It's time for cool breezes and cool deals. Plus, just $5 gets you started during the Autumn at Aaron's event. At participating Aaron's stores, transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, the Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from September. Northside Community Center, Gold Star Adjusters, Liquid Creative, Paisley Cafe, Southern Earth Sciences Incorporated, Welcome Home Concierge Services, Blue Wolf Property Management, Bryant's Neighborhood Marketplace, Finnovative Technologies, Pearl in the Wild, Chase, KT Creative, Bricks and Brass, Fuzzy Taco Shop, Holiday Inn Tallahassee East Capitol, Silver Digital Media, Urban Air Tallahassee, Vale Food Company, Ask Pediatric Services, Phodia Services, University Lending Group, A&E Realty and Management, Talquin Portable Restrooms, and the Leon County Property Appraiser's Office.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. That's 800-298-5783.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Hi, I'm Chris York with Monogram Art. While our name mentions monograms, we are a lot more than that. We offer a full line of corporate apparel to businesses and organizations, and we carry clothing brands such as Cutter & Buck, Nike Golf, Port Authority, and caps from Richardson, Outdoor Cap, Ahead, Yupong, and many more. We have the ability to create custom embroidered apparel that your employees will be proud to wear. So swing by our showroom at 2522 Capitol Circle Northeast or find us online at monogramart.com. Let us help you wear your brand.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Buck Showalter is out as Orioles manager and won't return to the team in any capacity next season. Baltimore coming off a franchise-worst 47-115 record and was just the fifth team in the major since 1900 to lose 115 games or more in a season. Baseball spotlight on the Bronx tonight when the Yankees will host the A's in the American League wildcard game. Luis Severino and Liam Hendricks. Severino looking for a wildcard do-over. He slumped in the second half this season, but the Yankees believe in Severino tonight, according to ESPN's Mark Teixeira.
He can throw 100 miles an hour with a wipeout slider. He's a guy that can maybe only go 3 or 4 innings if the Yankees, maybe even less, if the Yankees need him to get to the bullpen. And then that wipeout bullpen can take it from there. So look for the Yankees to try to jump out early. Severino, give them a few good ones, hand it over to the bullpen.
First baseman Greg Bird not on the Yankees wild-card roster. They're instead opting for Luke Voit, who's hit .333 with 14 home runs and 33 RBI in 39 games since his trade from the Cardinals. Coverage of the AL wildcard game, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NFL, Jags running back Leonard Fournette still dealing with an injured hamstring, will not play this Sunday against Kansas City. T.J. Yeldon and Corey Grant will get the bulk of the work in his place. Falcons expect running back Devontae Freeman to practice fully this week and return to the field against the Steelers, barring any setbacks with his injured knee. That injury has kept him out the last 3 games. Viking coach Mike Zimmer said that he has no clarity on when defensive end Everson Griffin will return. Griffin is away from the team as he receives mental health treatment. On opening night in the NHL tonight, the Capitals will raise the first Stanley Cup championship banner in team history before they take on the Bruins at home.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. Happy Balls Big Wednesday, friends. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. You know, I think it's going largely overlooked in the rivalry weekend, but Tyreek Hill going after Jalen Ramsey today has me eating popcorn. Here we go. All right. That's going to be a fun game. Chiefs-Jags for real.
Title fight. Yeah.
It feels like it, doesn't it? And I love that Tyreek Hill's like, I'll talk about Jalen Ramsey. Come on.
Well, and then there's another title fight later in the year, Monday Night Football from Mexico City. They're, trying to expand the game.
But every year.
It's Rams and Chiefs.
The Chiefs are playing the Jags.
No, later in the year.
Oh, I thought you said this weekend. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Love it.
That is a Super Bowl preview
Good
as we stand here today,
there.
right?
Yeah. Of course, earlier in the week it was official, and it was never any question. It will be interesting to see. The Bucs made it official that they're going with Jalen Ramsey the rest of the way. And Jalen Ramsey. Listen to me. One Noel to another Noel to another Noel. Jameis Winston.
You sassy.
And yeah, I mean, of course they are, and that's what you do, and it'll be interesting to see how the offense operates. I hate that right off the bat O.J. Howard's out, of course.
On a bad throw. He hurt himself extending for a bad throw, landed on his knee a bad way.
Yeah, so, you get a situation there where you have one less weapon. I still think the offense is going to move the ball. The question isn't who's playing quarterback and the offense in general. It's going to be again and again and again, can anybody cover anybody under Mike Smith's defense, which for whatever reason, I think Mike Smith in his career has been a good defensive coordinator. He's had too many lapses in Tampa for me to give him the benefit of the doubt anymore. I'm not doing it. So, that's your bigger question. That's your bigger problem.
Well, he's still here on Wednesday of the bye week. I mean,
He's not going anywhere. Dirk defended
Dirk backed him. Well, that's it for you. Goodbye.
But I don't see. Yes, but there is this. When you fire people in season, I agree with him here. I just don't know what it does. I mean, what are you going to do? Where are you going out to get your next defensive coordinator that's going to remedy this situation in season?
When you have analysts that can look at the film, on a Monday or a Sunday night.
You wouldn't need analysts to watch that.
But, and they say something like there were 0 adjustments made. 0 adjustments made to coverages, to what you're asking players to do in the middle of a game. It is professional football at some point here.
It should never happen. I said on Monday that there's no way a team should be able to score in the NFL 38 points and a half without the benefit of, special teams score or pick 6 or 2 or crazy turnovers. It just shouldn't happen that you line up and I beat your ass for a half as an NFL team and score 38 points. No, it can't happen in the NFL. I don't care if you're the Bills or anybody else. It can't happen. And under Mike Smith, it's happened more than once. And that's the damning thing. It's not like, Joe Flacco didn't roll in here and just drop 500 yards on us, because he did. We saw the Falcons set records and others. We've been on the wrong end of that.
We have. A couple of those were Lovey specials. But, yes, we've got plenty of examples of where we get torched and we do little to nothing to stop it.
Yeah, and we have plenty of examples under Mike, too. You're right. I'm going back and lumping some together. But still. But I don't know what you do in season. That's the problem. When you deem somebody worthy of coming back, I used to think it was solely personnel, and there are personnel issues on this team. In the secondary, there are personnel issues. But we're professional enough that we should not look like that.
Well, if it's a one-off thing, but this defense has been bad all season long. So that might be you could defend Mike Smith by saying that. Listen, what are you supposed to do with these players? But the hard part is when you're that bad, that bad. It's Trubisky.
Well, and I told you the numbers. They're absurd. He had 5 career touchdown passes and over 300 pass attempts. I mean, this is
right.
Threw 6 against us.
You know, if it's a player, you cut him. You got to hold somebody accountable at some point. We'll cut a player. We'll cut a kicker. We cut a defensive lineman this weekend because he was offsides in a play, and we can't have that. Okay, really? That's the number one problem, is we're going to switch out a depth reserve defensive lineman, but
no, it's
the defensive coordinator skates? Get out of here.
No, I don't like it. I mean, it's and I'm not one of those guys that's so quick to fire a coach because I often think that, that's the overreaction of the average fan, but
it's a playoff caliber offense.
Oh, yes. I believe that to be true. It'll be fascinating.
At least Vita got out in the field. There were a couple of good clips. I don't know if you went back to watch anything, but
I watched
double
the game.
teams and chucking hip. Yeah. I mean, it was away from the ball. He made a couple of plays where he's chucking offensive linemen to the ground and stuff. Okay. I mean, if you can be out there, then we might be able to do some things here.
Nice to see. It is nice to see, and there's certainly real hope that you get something. We got a bye week to prepare for this game against Atlanta, which I figure every game against Atlanta is, high scoring.
Oh, 41-38.
It's always, it's crazy, right? I mean, that's what that team is, and we ought to be able to oblige. Okay, we'll drop our 35. Can we get a stop? I'm not holding my breath.
Oh, you do backflips anytime you get a punt?
Well, and here's the deal. I do think Sark has figured it out. I mean, they're lighting up the scoreboard. They can't stop anybody right now, but they're lighting up the scoreboard. And, oh, by the way, very, very quietly, Cincinnati's turned out to be a really good football team.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here?
A.J. Green's back to form. Andy Dalton
Everybody
looks sharp.
looks good, man. They're able to run the football. Yeah.
Hurts them that Tyler Eifert's ankle exploded last weekend.
I finally saw that.
Oh, it's terrible.
Well, it's just like earlier this year when we saw what happened in Tennessee.
Yeah. Delaney Walker.
It was horrible to watch Delaney Walker go down like that. I was watching it when it happened. I went, I texted you. I was like, oh, no.
So I had that one on Red Zone this weekend. As you could tell, I switched over to Red Zone after a little bit too much of the Bucs game.
He had seen enough.
And Scott Hansen is yelling, "Don't run the replay, guys. Don't run the replay, guys."
And I kept showing it?
No. Then he goes, I think the mic wasn't supposed to be on for that time. He goes, "Okay, we're going to show you the replay." It's like,
well, there's a producer in his ear going, "We have to." And he's going, no, I don't want, no, don't. All right, so we're going to show you the replay.
All right, everybody, let's check in here.
And he will talk like that.
We're going to zoom in on his ankle. Let's all enjoy this together.
Well, you know what I enjoyed? I enjoyed watching the Cubs lose last night, and the recognition that the fact that they won as many divisions and playoff games as the Pirates did this year. What a tragedy. It seems that dynasty took a dead right. They won the World Series and nothing since. It's been a whole lot of other teams.
So Tim Kirkjian spouted off this stat earlier today. I could not believe it was the 40th time this season that the Cubs have scored one run or fewer, which would be 0.
One blankety, yes.
Right, which is second only to the Baltimore Orioles. That's how sparse they've been at times, and that's what killed them this past, week?
Well, here's the other problem. In fairness to the Cubs, they played a gazillion games in the last 42 days because they had no time off because of makeup games, and they looked like an exhausted team. Now, if I were to make excuses for the Cubs choking, as they did, and not even winning a division or playoff game, anything of any merit, that's what I would use.
But that's pretty crazy that you can have all that offensive talent, and basically 1 out of 4 baseball games you're going to score 1 run or no runs at all. That's crazy.
Some of their better players missed time, and then you saw a downturn for a couple of others. Chris Bryant went through some tough times, and Izzo missed time.
Yeah, but I mean, only the
Rizzo,
Orioles.
I said
Rizzo.
Izzo.
Only the Orioles are worse.
Oh, in that particular statistic, yes. And it cost Buck Showalter his job today. He is not returning as Baltimore. Well, I don't know how you'd have him return. I mean, that's a
was it the 113th loss that put him over the top?
Maybe the 115th, right? I mean, that's a dubious deal. They went 47-115. 47-115. I mean, good God. That's a 3-time manager of the year presiding over a 47-115 team. Now, again, if you can't pitch, you can't win. I don't care if you're a MLB genius. It doesn't matter if you're getting shellacked every week.
Team ERA 5.18 for the season.
It's a tough time.
We need to score 6 tonight, boys, and that's if we don't commit any errors.
Yeah, and that's if we're just meeting our average. It could be a night we give up 10. 47-115. The season ticket holder at Camden Yards this year sat down and thought, well, this is a fine stadium. That's about all you had as you gazed about the land.
I got through about 12 books this summer.
This is unbelievable.
It's my library.
But no, I mean, think about it. If you're Buck Showalter, you were part of a turnaround in 3 postseason trips and 5 seasons from 2012 through 2016, and then this is where it ends.
It deteriorated rapidly. Yes.
It's funny though with that baseball will do you like that.
We knew it was coming. That's the thing, So if you bought season tickets this year for the Orioles, you knew what the hell was about to happen.
I think the Orioles, their season as a whole mirrored that of Chris Davis's individually. This is a guy that's won the home run title 2 different times. Hit a cool $168 this year.
You're closing in on 4 months worth of losing. 4 months over a 6-month period of time. That's incredible.
Thanks for a cool $168, Chris. Appreciate you. My nephew is a youngin', and he nearly hit a $168 despite not ever suiting up for us. I mean, good Lord, sir.
Did you watch last night start to finish?
Yeah.
I know you watched all the way to the finish, which is an incredible accomplishment.
This is going to shock you. I missed an inning and a half as I went for a run. It's a true story. I know that's stunning. I did.
Were you just thinking about our football game and it caused you to go outside and run for your life?
I've been running a little bit, and I knew if I didn't get to running in that moment that I'd make a poor decision. There was an ice-cold beer in the fridge, and it was going, Jeff, you're watching baseball. Let's be together.
I hate the Cubs, too.
Let's share this dark time for the Chicago Cubs together. Come drink me. My partners are behind me. And I knew they were in there calling me. I could hear it. That voice whispered, and it got louder and louder, and my family was asleep, and it was just me and a refrigerator full of beer and postseason baseball. And I went, quick, go do something. Make a good decision. So I went and ran 2 miles, and I came back in, and then I sat down, and I didn't feel like drinking because I had gone running.
Fly the W, it beer.
Jeff Cameron Show.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand, all snug and secure where it won't tip over or roll under your seat or get hot in the sun. So find the store already. Grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs. And put that loose change back in your pocket. That's what pockets are for. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
For a limited time, receive up to a $400 trade-in bonus when you upgrade to a select Carrier home comfort system. Plus, you can now quickly and easily schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device at VernoAC.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Verno Heating and Air. It's that easy. Florida license CAC 057652.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
An eager young FSU marketing major came into Poor Paul's the other day and told me what a genius he thought I was for all the great specials we have, like the $2.95 top shelf liquor drinks on Wednesday and Friday nights, the free ladies drinks on Tuesday nights, the free Gumby's pizza with $4.95 pitchers every Sunday and Monday nights, not to mention all of the free beer winners we have on the Wheel of Fortune all day, every day. This guy asked me if I'd majored in marketing, and I told him I had, but what I didn't tell the poor guy was that in 4 years, I didn't learn a damn thing in any of my classes. You see, there was this girl I got to know named Bunny who, let's just say, was working her way through school, who sold a great product, cheap, with a smile, and as a result had hundreds of happy customers. And except for that little red light in her window, all her advertising was simply word of mouth. So I didn't worry about all those charts and graphs and formulas. I knew all I needed were the Bunny marketing methods. Sell good stuff, cheap, with a smile. And just like at Bunny's, Poor Paul's always has lots of happy customers wanting to spend their money. And that's why that poor kid thought I was so smart.
Hello, radio friends. I'm here to tell you about Barbaritos. Our mission statement is farm fresh, so let's explain. We serve char-grilled, grass-fed beef, hormone-free chicken breasts, and grilled tofu for starters. Farm fresh means fresh avocados used to make guacamole, and tomatoes from the vine to craft fresh pico de gallo. Farm fresh means award-winning burritos, salads, and tacos customized for you. So come visit your local Barbaritos today and literally see for yourself. Barbaritos, we roll farm fresh.
Barbaritos, we make it fresh, you make it yours. Napa know-how.
It takes a lot to get excited about a bag, but most bags can't save you 20% on parts and accessories. That's 20% off brake pads, 20% off oil filters, 20% off virtually anything you can fit inside the 99-cent Napa reusable bag. So tell your buddies there's a bag they just have to check out. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Minimum 3 items. Exclusions apply. Offer ends 10/31/18.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hope you're well on this Balls Make Wednesday. Don't forget tonight, Front Row Knowles coming up after this program, and then later this evening, more baseball. Good stuff. American League wild card, A's, Yankees. Who you got?
Severino's pitching for the Yankees, right? So I'll take the A's.
Good pick. I like it. I like where your head's at, sir.
The A's are going with the bullpen approach. Is that right?
I believe so.
Starting a reliever.
I was surprised to just see the level of dominance last night from both pitchers. That was fun. Yeah, the A's are pitching Hendricks, and Severino is going for the Yankees. Weird year for Severino, who, upon first blush, you'd say good season, 19-8, 3.39. But it was a tale of two halves, right? It was the first half of dominance, and then long stretch of impotence from him in the second half of the season that made it nearly impossible for the Yankees to, that coupled with the greatness of the Red Sox this season, made it impossible to catch them.
Well, I feel like there could be a situation where you can compare manager to manager tonight for the Yankees. Remember, Girardi against the Twins last year was not shy about, pulling. I forget who it was. Was
You don't-
it
you don't-
Severino? I forget who it was.
Yeah, he was a mess. You don't have time.
And he said, "We're done here. We're going straight to our pen. It's the strength of our
It
staff
was the best
anyway."
pen in baseball a year ago.
Right.
Just about. I think it was.
And so they're down a few runs to the Twins in the first or second inning, and then they end up just clubbing them because Girardi made the right call to stop the bleeding in that moment. Here's Aaron Boone tonight. If he's presented with the same set of circumstances, how quickly does he pull Severino?
Very.
I get it's a winner-take-all, but sometimes managers don't have that quick-to-punch instinct.
I'll tell you something. It is, I made fun a moment ago of the Cubs, and obviously they still have opportunities, and they won, 95 games this year. So it wasn't like it was a complete disaster, even though they didn't win the division or a playoff game, not a single one. But that said, you really do think teams are set up oftentimes for long runs, postseason success, etc. And it's a reminder that baseball, quote-unquote, dynasties are hard to come by, and a lot can go wrong in a hurry, and that when you do win something, anything, like you actually win a division or go to the win a World Series especially, woo, embrace that sucker. Because obviously when I was 8, I thought I'd see more from the team that I root for, and I'm sure everybody back in '86 thought the Mets would win a bunch of them, and
yeah,
you go on down the list of teams that looked like they were set up for long stretches of time, and by and large, that just doesn't happen. Occasionally it does. I mean, my dad is fortunate in that he waited forever and a day, and then the Giants won, and then they won, and then they won. And the Red Sox waited forever and a day, and they finally broke the curse, and then they won 2 more. But that's not the norm. It's you see what happened to the Cubs. They were set up.
So the 2017 AL wildcard game, a year to the day, October 3rd last year, and Severino pitched just a third of an inning.
Oh, no, he was awful. He looked overwhelmed.
4 hits, a walk, an expression on his face that looked like dead meat.
We had nothing.
3 runs is what he gave up, and Robertson came in for the Yankees, and he's the one who saved the day. He got him out of a jam in the first inning. Then the Yankees respond. They score a bunch of runs.
It was nice to be able to go to a pen that could carry 6 innings most nights, if need be, or more.
Or 8 2/3
well,
in this case.
On that particular night, you're right. But most of the time, you could actually legitimately say for a singular game, I've got a pen that can get 6 innings.
8 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned just 3 walks, and they struck out 13. That's what the Yankees bullpen did last year in the AL wildcard game. Again, Severino, he has a chance for redemption, but I got to say, you could see it in the first inning. Even before things went badly last year, his expression said what was about to happen. So check those close-ups tonight.
The reminder, though, that postseason baseball is a different animal than the regular season, and you have to approach it differently, and your expectations shift, and all of that stuff is true. But I will tell you, I enjoy both. They're very different. But that is one thing, and it's odd to me, that I think baseball it mirrors football in this way, and it's not been a good year for baseball. But if you're a diehard fan of a sport, some sports, like if the Lightning don't make the postseason, you're one of the few hockey teams, and of course they will, and they're odds-on favorites to
probably.
But they're going to make the postseason. But what I would say is that you are one of the few diehard hockey fans I know that if their team isn't in it, you can watch every round and you'll watch every series if you can. I mean, you'll lock in. I don't think many people do that, but I do in baseball. I do in the National Football League. I watch the playoffs, of course, but you know what I mean?
I'll check in on baseball. I actually kind of I've grown to like postseason baseball more and more over the years.
Oh, I like it a lot, but it's for a very different reason. It's not the same comfort that is 162 games.
But it used to be that I wouldn't even turn it on at all. And now, last night...
Oh, that was riveting
It got to a time, I was like, oh... We were wrapping up our night. We were watching TV, Jamie and I said, all right, you go up to bed. I'm going to watch this game. Let's see where it's at.
You kept watching. It was good.
I checked the scores 1-0 in the 7th. I thought, oh, all right. I got to see what's going on here. When the Cubs tied it, admittedly.
You're like, I'm too tired.
And they didn't take the lead in that moment. I said, all right, this is in for a long night.
You did get a sense that maybe it would be going for a while.
They needed to take the lead right then and there, and they didn't. So I decided that was the right time to call it, and when I woke up this morning, I checked the station logs, and I saw that the game went to 1 a.m. I thought, I made the right decision.
I did not. I stayed up and watched every last second of that game, and it turned out to be riveting.
But the Stanley Cup playoffs product, I think, across the board is just that great that I want to watch it. The NBA can be when there's more than 2 good teams, but the problem is you don't have that going on right now.
It hadn't been that way in a long time, buddy. There has not been a reason, really.
No, the East playoffs was the most interesting playoffs the Eastern Conference has had since what? I don't know how long ago.
No, I mean, the problem with the NBA the last several seasons is that you woke up knowing exactly which two teams were going to meet in the finals, and you just thought, well, that's not good. We may get a little bit of a roller coaster. There may be a moment in time where that comes into question. Maybe Houston or somebody shocks us and gives us a reason to lock in. But by and large, it was a foregone conclusion, and it's never good to have a foregone conclusion when you play an 82-game season.
No, it's the conference finals is when you start turning on the NBA playoffs. And the conference finals can provide you something cool, like Heat Pacers that one year was pretty interesting, Golden State, Oklahoma City, Golden State, Houston. You have these matchups over time, Boston and Cleveland. There's some interest there, but the first and second rounds, hardly ever interesting, unless you look to the West Coast. And even then, you know that this might be an entertaining best of seven, but neither of these two teams have a damn shot in hell to hoist the big trophy. Whereas in hockey, any one of these series could produce your Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Who picked Washington?
Right, no, nobody. No, you could be an 8 seed and win the Stanley Cup. You can.
More people picked Vegas than Washington heading into the playoffs last year.
Well, and Vegas, by all rights, understandably, was selected in the way that they had played out the season. Washington wasn't the team that you thought, well, that's the odds-on favorite here.
They got to go through Pittsburgh, and they never do, so they won't.
They won't. And then one man said, not this year. It's not happening. I'm going to make sure I get my damn trophy before I ride.
We're not going to be fucking sucked this year. We're the Stanley Cup champions! Yeah!
And I'll whisper quickly before break that Tom Wilson from the Stanley Cup champions has been suspended 20 games by the NHL for his check of the Blues forward, Sundqvist, and he will be out for 20 games.
Too little, too late, NHL. Too little, too late there. He's given you more than enough reason 10 times before this one.
This is Wilson's fourth suspension in his last 105 games, an unprecedented frequency of suspensions in the history of the Department of Player Safety, said the league. Well, then why isn't it longer?
At some point, you got to lock somebody up if they keep on coming
just
back.
Keep doing it, right? Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Samantha and Jesse bought their Tallahassee home with Joe Manassa Real Estate. When Jesse accepted a new job in Ohio, once again they had to turn to Joe. This time, though, they needed to sell 2 homes, their personal house and a rental property. The rental went under contract and was sold in a matter of days, and their personal residence is currently under contract with a Joe Manassa Real Estate buyer. Tallahassee, you need to know that you have an experienced and effective agent who can expose your home to the most buyers by creating a marketing and offer strategy that works, and he'll ultimately negotiate for you the most money possible. It's Joe Manassa of Joe Manassa Real Estate. Joe guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline that you agree to, or he'll have it bought for cash. Call Joe to find out more about this phenomenal program. And not only that, working with Joe doesn't obligate you to a thing. If he's not doing his job, he'll let you out of your contract free and clear. But don't worry, that never happens because Joe sells homes quickly and for top dollar. Call the only real estate agent I would call if I was selling my home. That's Joe Manassa of Joe Manassa Real Estate. Call Joe Manassa today at 850-888-0888. That's 850-888-0888. Or online at manassa.com, MANAUSA.com, and start packing.
Just how good does a Sport Clips Championship haircut experience make you feel? Like your hair has its own walk-up music. No matter what kind of guy you are. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. You want hair so good it deserves its own walk-up music. And at Sport Clips, we make it easy. Just check in online, choose your stylist, and head to Sport Clips. You'll get a game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys. Go big with the MVP experience and get recharged with a massaging shampoo and their legendary hot steamed towel. They'll always finish strong by styling your hair just right, tightening up that beard and getting you on your way. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. Appointment-free championship haircuts for men and boys surrounded by what you know and love, sports. So get in line online today at sportclips.com/check-in and get your hair in the game.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Golic and Wingo.
You tell me what Stephon Tua was supposed to do. If you want to say, and that's fine, that it happens bang, bang, and the ref can't see every time if he puts his hands out, then what is he supposed to do? Because you saw what William Hayes did, the defensive end for the Miami Dolphins. He was taking down Derek Carr, and because of the rule, again, NFL, you have them thinking about this rule. He shifted his weight to not land on him. His cleat caught in the turf, and his ACL is torn. He's done for the season. And you know what? You don't give a damn because the quarterback's okay. What happens if it's Aaron Donald? What happens if it's some big, nothing against William Hayes, but, you know, he's not the top defender. What if it's Khalil Mack? What if one of these guys does what you want him to do and blows his knee out like that? You care then? It's all about the stars and the quarterback. I get it, but give me another thing for them to do. That's all they're asking out there as well.
Golic and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Buck Showalter is out as Orioles manager and won't return to the team in any capacity next season. Baltimore coming off a franchise-worst 47-115 record and was just the 5th team in the major since 1900 to lose 115 games or more in a season. Baseball spotlight on the Bronx tonight when the Yankees will host the A's in the American League wildcard game. Luis Severino and Liam Hendricks. Severino looking for a wildcard do-over. He slumped in the second half this season, but the Yankees believe in Severino tonight, according to ESPN's Mark Teixeira.
He can throw 100 miles an hour with a wipeout slider. He's a guy that can maybe only go 3 or 4 innings if the Yankees, maybe even less, if the Yankees need him to get to the bullpen. Yep. And then that wipeout bullpen can take it from there. So look for the Yankees to try to jump out early. Severino, give them a few good ones, hand it over to the bullpen.
First baseman Greg Bird not on the Yankees wildcard roster. They're instead opting for Luke Voit, who's hit .333 with 14 home runs and 33 RBI in 39 games since his trade from the Cardinals. Coverage of the AL wildcard game, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NFL Jags running back Leonard Fournette still dealing with an injured hamstring, will not play this Sunday against Kansas City. P.J. Yeldon and Corey Grant will get the bulk of the work in his place. Falcons expect running back Devontae Freeman to practice fully this week and return to the field against the Steelers, barring any setbacks with his injured knee. That injury has kept him out the last 3 games. Viking coach Mike Zimmer said that he has no clarity on when defensive end Everson Griffin will return. Griffin is away from the team as he receives mental health treatment. On opening night in the NHL tonight, the Capitals will raise the first Stanley Cup championship banner in team history before they take on the Bruins at home.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Don't forget Madison Social. Hello. You know the name of the place. Offers the social agreement. That's right. It's happening on Thursdays. You and a buddy can split 1 order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof ales, which are delicious. All for just $40. During that same time on Thursdays in College Town, Centrale offering 50% off select pizzas all day, every day on Thursday. And Township is offering Taco Thursday, $2 tacos. Ooh, get down with $2 tacos. It's fit for all ages. Parking is solved because it's free. No hassle. Great food and service. Visit ThursdaysInCollegetown.com for more details. All right, there you go. I like $2 tacos, I'll tell you that. I like tacos in general. I'll pay $10 for a taco, but 2 is better.
Indeed.
Should be noted, and it's not a surprise, the league's research department of the National Football League revealed this week that quarterbacks are lighting it up at a record-setting pace. The 228 touchdown passes through 4 weeks is the most in the modern era by far. The next closest season through 4 games was back in 2013, also recent, at 205. We've had 6 and 4 touchdown performances from Patrick Mahomes by himself, 2 4-touchdown performances from Ryan Fitzpatrick, and an out-of-nowhere 6-touchdown afternoon from Mitchell Trubisky. Well, it's not out of nowhere. It's anybody facing Tampa Bay. As roughing the passer calls rise, so have passing yards per game because you feel like you can't hit them. Can't hit them. It's two-hand touch of the quarterback. So guess what? Everybody, whether or not they're any good or not, out here chucking it around for 300 yards. And if you are decent, you got a shot at 400-500 yards. I remember watching football, and I'm going to be a nostalgic guy here for a moment. If somebody threw for 400 yards, you were stunned. And I watched Joe Montana, and I watched Dan Marino, and I watched some of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of this league hit the 400 mark in a game very, very rarely. Because you could hit them, and you were allowed to touch a receiver occasionally, and you could intimidate anybody in the middle of the field.
Well, and there were super teams in those days, too, so the bad teams were really, really bad.
And they still couldn't throw for 400 yards because it was real football. Changes had to be made. I get it. I just don't think we're heading in the right direction. I don't need to see – you got guys setting career highs time and again, including Kirk Cousins, and others throwing the ball to the tune of 450, 480. That's crazy.
Well, the yardage marker he hit against Green Bay, there were a lot of really, really tough throws. A lot of real – some of them, like the Mahomes numbers so far, nobody can figure out that scheme and for most of the yardage
Well, and he's really good. I'm not saying the guys that are doing it aren't good quarterbacks. Roethlisberger's going to the Hall of Fame. He lit it up. He's had 2 games this year where he's really thrown for a lot of yardage, and he's got weapons. And Drew Brees is a beast. He's a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And every week he throws for 400-plus yards. But I am saying that if you're really good, you got a legitimate chance on any given Sunday to throw for 500 yards because I can't hit you. And you're going to call penalties that sustain drives. And you're going to allow for more opportunities time and again. And then if you're an average quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick or even a young quarterback like Mitchell Trubisky, you're seeing those guys throw for 380, 390, 405 yards. It's ridiculous. You ought to be stunned when somebody throws for 400 yards in an NFL game, and it happens every week now.
When do you give up on the game, the pro game? What needs to happen?
Yeah, because you're right. The counter-argument
You're not
is
enjoying it week to week as much. I can hear it in
Well,
your
but
voice.
the counter-argument is, Jeff, the quarterbacks being healthy, able to start for their teams, create more drama, and allow for you to tune in each week, even as you bitch about the calls, because you want to see Aaron Rodgers, you want to see Drew Brees, and you want to see the stars of their team upright and having the capability of leading their team to victory on any given weekend, whereas if they go down, the season is over and there's no sense in tuning in whatsoever. So we're going to do everything we can to protect those guys because they are the league. But I am older at 47. I think people my age have seen it both ways. I'm not saying we need to go back to 16-13 and everything goes and you can do anything you want and you can Bill Romanowski these guys and launch with the crown of your helmet underneath the chin, breaking jaws, and not even getting penalized. I'm not saying that.
Which one's more fun to watch, 13-10 or 38-35? For you. I'm not saying what you think the objective answer is.
Somewhere in between is more fun to watch. I like 27-24 where defenses have a shot. I can hit a quarterback. I can impact the game equally. Whereas, if
you had to pick one, which one would you pick, though? 38-35 or 13-10?
How we arrive at those scores matters greatly in my answer. Is it because I'm watching two great defenses stymieing two very good offenses? Because that is riveting, and I'll watch it all day long. Is it because the two offenses are incompetent and they don't have quarterback play that is on par with even an average NFL team? No, I don't want to watch that. I don't watch 13-10 because a guy can't hit the broadside of a barn. I want to watch 13-10 if it's somebody who is locked in on defense and making great adjustments against talented quarterbacks, and you got to earn everything you get. But I'll watch 38-35 if I have two Hall of Famers and elite weapons all over the place, and they're not playing two-hand touch. You're allowed to hit them. You're allowed to put your hands on them. You're allowed to intimidate them, but they're just not good enough because the receivers and the quarterbacks and the running backs are too talented, and they're protected and they're making plays. I'll watch that. I like that. I'm not saying I don't want scoring. I just want defenses to have a fighting chance to play the game. And I feel like that the more you chip away at that, the more that if I hit you hard, it's a penalty. If you adjust midair because the ball is underthrown, and you duck down to get it, and I've already set my sights at your hip, and now my head hits your head, and I'm thrown out of a game, and your drive is sustained, I don't want to watch that.
That even happens way too often with pass interference calls. So you got a guy streaking down the field, and he's open by 2 steps. He's got the defensive back beat. Then the quarterback doesn't have the talent to throw the ball far enough down the field.
Right, and he underthrows.
And so you're in trail coverage, and he has to double back.
Right, and it's
an
an
run
art
into
form
the defender.
Too. I hate it, but it's an art form too. There was a time where quarterbacks, rightfully, as we saw, back shoulder throws became purposely short. Things like that began to happen. It just depends. Like, we'll give credit to an Aaron Rodgers when he does it because he meant to do it. If you're a middling quarterback, you're like, you sorry ass, you got bailed out.
A lot of those are bailouts. I'm talking 40, 50-yard shots down the field. I'm not talking about a 15-yard back shoulder fade. At some point, you have to not reward the quarterback for doing the wrong thing. I see some officiating crews say no to that. But to your point, other than the running back, everybody else is protected in some form or fashion. The running back is the one that's fair game at all time. Receivers.
You can't touch quote-unquote defenseless receivers.
They're defenseless at times. That includes tight ends. And, of course, the quarterback, there is no strike zone anymore because you can't land on the guy. But
here's what I'm telling you is, and I think you agree with this, there really isn't such a thing. I mean, I think we know it anyhow when we see it. A little bit like the age-old definition of pornography. I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. Defenseless receiver falls in that category. If you're running around in the middle of the field and I light your ass up because your quarterback overthrows you and you're forced to stretch for a football, you're not defenseless. I'm making a play. I'm making a play on the ball. I'm making a play on you as the ball gets to you. And if I'm early, call the interference. But if I'm not early, just because you got hung out to dry doesn't mean I'm guilty of some capital offense. According to the league, I'm going to get fined. I may get thrown out. Your drive gets sustained because I hit you hard because your quarterback can't make a throw. It's like Ja'Cory Harris. That's on you, man. Screw you.
Yes.
But now, if the ball is 40 yards over your head and there's no chance you can catch that, and I have time to know that and light you up, fine, flag me.
That happened far too often, and that's already been cleaned up by
It's been cleaned up, and I'm agreeing with that.
Spearing also into the ground. That's not called enough for me. So a guy's down on the ground and then you dive into his back or something along those lines. That is a defenseless player. But these aren't the NFL's definitions. These are just from watching the game.
Yeah. I got no problem, by the way, if I do everything right, and the league will call this too, and I think it's nonsense because this is a form tackle. If you're elevated and I put my head into your chest and I wrap up properly and I squeeze and pull up and slam you into that's a tackle, man.
Not anymore.
This is a man's game. It's built around intimidation, physicality. All of this stuff matters. It plays into the next play and the next series and the next decision that is made both by the quarterback and receiver. This is all part and parcel to strategy. It's not just brutality. It matters how I go about perfecting my profession, my craft as a tackler in this case.
Well, and little did we know. Remember the Maryland game in 2010 when Greg Reed was called and it ended up being, I think it was a pick six.
It wasn't smart because he stood over him. But
he stood over and taunted, yes. But they said in that moment that it was it wasn't indeed a good call. And we said, well, how's that possible? He didn't hit him in the helmet.
Yeah.
And the answer was head and neck area. Little did we know that was going to be the prevailing model for both leagues moving forward. Because once you get into the neck area, now it's impossible. Like the helmet thing is really easy, especially upon review, to legislate whether or not this is illegal or not. But head and neck area is such a weird thing to try and see from terrible angles on TV whether or not somebody engaged to the head and neck area. Because that could be my clavicle. It could be just south of my clavicle.
I just want somebody to stand on a football field during an NFL game at one time in their life, stand down on the field and watch how fast plays begin and end. And it is remarkable. It is now. It is hut, we're done. And you're going to tell me in that period of time when, ball's coming out now, guys are making adjustments. I'm coming up to make a tackle. We're both moving at the same time. You move this way. I move that way. I'm making a play on the ball. Bam, we hit heads, and I'm going to be in trouble for this each and every time. To me, that's not the spirit of the rule. The spirit of the rule is you're telling me as a defender that I need to be more cognizant when I have the opportunity to be. So that is to say, I'm sizing you up, and yet I choose to hit high. Fine, flag me. These bang-bang plays where helmets hit, that's why you have the damn helmet on.
I think the problem is we're long since past there. That was a discussion we were having 4 years ago. But now it's gotten to a place where the NFL, for whatever reason, has decided to model the college targeting rule, which we always thought was nuts.
But it's actually gotten better in college. I feel like they have a better handle now on what they're doing.
That's correct. The NFL said, hold my beer.
Yeah,
yes.
I do think it affects the integrity of the game. I bring this up all the time. And when you're getting these sustained drives and you're watching quarterbacks now who have an average passer rating of 100 or better, and the number of those that have happened for the last 5, I mean, what is the number here? What I saw, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There was something like over half the quarterbacks in the league last week had a quarterback rating that on a given week in 2 years ago, you'd go, oh, damn, look at so-and-so.
Yeah, I can tell you through fantasy football, for example, because they rack up points for doing good things, of course, in fantasy football. So Andy Dalton's on my roster. I started him last week in a pinch because Jameis didn't start and Alex Smith was on a bye. You don't care about that. The point is...
Certainly don't need Alex Smith, but go ahead.
Well, the point is that Andy Dalton racked up a ton of points because Cincinnati's actually pretty good.
Yeah, they are good.
And Atlanta's defense is not. So
Correct.
It was a smart play on my part. And he's racked up a lot of points so far this season. So I was checking this morning about when I was going to make my cuts. How good is he? And I figured he'd be a top 10 quarterback because Cincinnati's moving the ball up and down the field. You see A.J. Green scoring a touchdown every week.
Mm-hmm.
He's 14th best in fantasy right now.
Right.
That dude is lighting it up every single week, like the good version of Andy Dalton that you see once every 3 years. And yet he's not even in the top 10 in terms of points scored at the position. That's incredible.
Yeah, and the number I was looking at, too, talking about these gaudy numbers, is 10 quarterbacks currently have an average passer rating of well north of 100. It's every week somebody that you think of as an also-ran is sitting around throwing 385 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick.
Yeah,
that's not even any good.
It's not for a lack of talent and defenses across the league.
No. Yeah, you have freaks. You have hybrid freaks all over the place, and they're being told, well, you can't do that. I'm not against safety precautions to save the sport because it has to happen, and it had to happen. And for too long, the kill shot was rewarded with made to straight-to-DVD videos being sold while the league championed it, right? I got it. But somewhere in between.
It's not about safety precautions, though.
They don't want to get sued anymore. And then it's also about offense sells.
I think the quarterback thing is about safety precautions, and it's about ticket sales at the same time or jersey sales. But I think that when you're talking about the passing game in general, it's the standard by which officials can throw flags for illegal contact, holding, and pass interference. That is changing the course of how defenses can play near the line of scrimmage, and it's allowing receivers to run free. You can't press anymore. Press coverage used to mean a little bit more than this hardcore 5-yard rule.
And ask Deion Sanders all about it, because my man was strong, and he would shake you off your foundation upon the snap of the football, and that disrupted everything. And if you happen to get past him, he had makeup.
There's no such thing as illegal contact on the offense. Think about that. There's no such thing as illegal contact on a wide receiver. You can't call it on him. But there's 3 types of things that you can call on a linebacker or safety or corner in coverage.
Yeah, but then in addition, you're not going to let me touch the quarterback, and God forbid a helmet's anywhere near your shoulder.
Sure.
I mean, we just sustained drives. How many drives have you watched on 3rd and 13, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 9? Wild overthrows. Somebody shoved a quarterback after the throw. Somebody touched a receiver. We're going to sustain this drive. We're going to allow this to continue. That always leads to points.
It does, but I would say I see more of backside of the play has nothing to do with nothing holding on the defense. Like, really? You're going to call this hold on a guy that the quarterback was never looking at? And that's one thing that I get, that it's either a rule or it's not.
Yeah, right.
However, in sitting in ACC meetings now 6 years ago, it's amazing how much time has passed.
Doug's been dead for 5 years. He died a year later.
Did he die a year later?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, what he said was they coached their ACC officials, insert laughter here, that if it has no bearing on the play, don't call it.
Leave it alone, right?
Leave it alone.
But that's not true.
That never happens in the NFL. You'll hear, like, holding on the defense, number 29. You say,
like,
21's in coverage. Where's 29? And then they go to the all-22 version, and you see this backside hold that has nothing, and it might be hand fighting between the two players, and it's 1st and 10 instead of a punt.
The only thing I'll say about that is that, understandably, you cannot ask officials in real time to know whether or not the quarterback glanced that way and saw the hold and then went back the other way. Meaning I don't have an option here because he's been rerouted because of a hold. So I got to throw over here.
But I think we can agree on top of that argument, that nuanced point, is the standard by which we're throwing flags here.
Yeah. Awfully, yeah.
It's middle school stuff.
I agree. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
49350.
Makita cordless specials are heating up at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener in October. Buy a Makita brushless premium 5 amp hour kit with 2 batteries and get a 6 amp hour battery free. Plus, get your choice of the following: brushless recip saw, circular saw, 1/2-inch impact drill, or a Bluetooth radio. Get rid of the gas with the Makita outdoor power equipment. Buy a brushless chainsaw or blower kit and receive 4 5 amp hour batteries and a dual bay chamber. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener with 2 locations to choose from: 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays 8 until noon.
Do your hair a favor by checking in online and arriving just in time for your Sport Clips MVP haircut experience while you surround yourself with sports on TV, a great cut, massaging shampoo, and a hot steam towel. Claim your spot today. SportClips.com/check-in.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Change your oil at Superlube every 3 months or 3,000 miles for a longer-lasting engine and better gas mileage. Change your oil at Superlube today, and for a limited time, you'll get a free car wash. Right now at Superlube, you never need an appointment. You'll be in and out in no time. And with 19 Tallahassee area locations, there's a Superlube just minutes away right now.
Boy, this place is sure convenient. How I love to Superlube my car, lube my car. How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, the Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from September. Northside Community Center, Gold Star Adjusters, Liquid Creative, Paisley Cafe, Southern Earth Sciences Incorporated, Welcome Home Concierge Services, Blue Wolf Property Management, Bryant's Neighborhood Marketplace, Finnovative Technologies, Pearl in the Wild, Chase, KT Creative, Bricks and Brass, Fuzzy Taco Shop, Holiday Inn Tallahassee East Capitol, Silver Digital Media, Urban Air Tallahassee, Vale Food Company, Ask Pediatric Services, Phodia Services, University Lending Group, A&E Realty and Management, Talquin Portable Restrooms, and the Leon County Property Appraiser's Office.
With the Bloomberg Business of Sports Report, I'm Charlie Pellett. A new Nielsen sports study commissioned by the American Gaming Association finds the National Hockey League's annual revenue may increase by $216 million annually due to widely available legal regulated sports betting. Among the potential income streams, advertising, data and sponsorship, and revenue generated as a result of increased consumption of the league's media and products. Ryder Cup organizers say they will support, quote, for as long as necessary, the spectator who was hit by a tee shot and has reportedly lost sight in her right eye. And the Phoenix Suns and PayPal have announced a multi-year partnership. PayPal's logo will appear on the front left of the Suns jersey, opposite the Nike logo. And that's the Bloomberg Business of Sports Report. I'm Charlie Pellett.
I'm the 8 hours of sleep you'll never get now that you're in business. There's a lot between us, like the person who'll sue you and fine print. But make a few courageous choices, like Hiscox Business Insurance, that tailors policies to your business's specific needs, and we may finally get to meet.
Hiscox, tailored business insurance for the courageous. Get a free quote. Call us at 877-388-7006. Hiscox. Encourage courage.
Indeed knows it's hard to find qualified candidates when you're hiring.
It's like finding a unicorn.
But when you post your job on Indeed, it's easy to find people with the skills you need.
Nurse practitioner, 4+ years experience, acute care certification.
Indeed has a huge pool of amazing candidates and screener tools that help you find your most qualified applicants.
Whoa, an entire short list of unicorns.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source ComScore total visits.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio. WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Buck Showalter is out as Orioles manager and won't return to the team in any capacity next season. Baltimore coming off a franchise-worst 47-115 record and was just the 5th team in the major since 1900 to lose 115 games or more in a season. Baseball spotlight on the Bronx tonight when the Yankees will host the A's in the American League wildcard game. Luis Severino and Liam Hendricks. Severino looking for a wildcard do-over. He slumped in the second half this season, but the Yankees believe in Severino tonight, according to ESPN's Mark Teixeira.
He can throw 100 miles an hour with a wipeout slider. He's a guy that can maybe only go 3 or 4 innings if the Yankees, maybe even less, if the Yankees need him to get to the bullpen. And then that wipeout bullpen can take it from there. So look for the Yankees to try to jump out early. Severino, give them a few good ones, hand it over to the bullpen.
First baseman Greg Bird not on the Yankees wildcard roster. They're instead opting for Luke Voit, who's hit .333 with 14 home runs and 33 RBI in 39 games since his trade from the Cardinals. Coverage of the AL wildcard game, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NFL, Jags running back Leonard Fournette, still dealing with an injured hamstring, will not play this Sunday against Kansas City. T.J. Yeldon and Corey Grant will get the bulk of the work in his place. Falcons expect running back Devontae Freeman to practice fully this week and return to the field against the Steelers, barring any setbacks with his injured knee. That injury has kept him out the last 3 games. Viking coach Mike Zimmer said that he has no clarity on when defensive end Everson Griffin will return. Griffin is away from the team as he receives mental health treatment. On opening night in the NHL tonight, the Capitals will raise the first Stanley Cup championship banner in team history before they take on the Bruins at home.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least 4 today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We are online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you missed something, go back, get caught up. All 3 hours to be posted upon the conclusion of the program, both to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. WTSM app. Good for your mobile devices, doesn't matter what kind. Go ahead and use that. If you're ever having problems with the audio, the app guarantees you're all good to go. All right, Florida State, Miami. I began the show asking you where your head's at. How you feeling? Are you an eternal optimist? But in admitting so, you're telling yourself that, hey, I just want to believe good things because that's the way I want to live my life. That's fine. On a day-to-day basis, I too am optimistic, but I'm also a realist. I'm pragmatic, and I don't think we're equipped to win this football game, so I'm continuing to have a growing concern about the matchups this weekend. And you know what? You can dial up intensity, and you can talk about the great history. You can talk about the pressure on them as huge favorites in this game, and Miami is. And how maybe that can work in your favor, where you got nothing to lose. Let it all hang out, as they say. I guess. But again, if you can't block, it's hard to win. And I'd much rather have a situation where we were weak at, say, well, where we're already weak. You know, we're weak at linebacker. That's okay. We're weak at linebacker. I can live with that. If you tell me we're weak at receiver for a game, I can live with that. You tell me we're weak at running back for a game, that we have a middle-of-the-road back, I can live with that. I can't live going into a big game with the inability to block. I think we'll do a better job of shutting down the run on defense than a lot of people give us credit for. I think we will.
DJ Dallas is the one that really...
He's good.
He is good. And I know they converted him, and it looks like it was a really smart move because he has great ability to jump cut and then get up to top speed, on top of the fact that he can just be straight line, point A to point B, if you're out of your lane. And that's where linebacker play... In watching and getting ready for today's show, and the rest of the week, looking at Miami, I thought, okay, as good as their linebacker play is, they trust themselves and their athleticism way too much. I mean, It is obvious that they over-pursue and they go at 100 miles an hour. If they're going to make a mistake, they do so at incredible speeds, but that leaves in its wake some big spaces to operate in. And I thought, okay, back and forth, this may be some terrible linebacker blown assignments for both teams, drive for drive. But that was all when I thought that Landon Dickerson would be our left tackle.
Which is the story of the day. We don't know the answer to that. We don't know if he's going to play or not play. He's mispracticed this week, and it is of growing concern with the whispers that he will miss this game. And, of course, that has not been officially observed by Florida State or noted in any way. So I don't know if that's true or not. I do know that he hasn't been in practice, and that's a problem. And so, when you hear those whispers and you find out that there's a chance that an already bad offensive line may be without their very best player going against a team that I think, suffice to say, is the best team we've faced so far this year, Well, that's difficult. At the same time, listen, we've won 7 straight games in Hard Rock Stadium. We have won in this rivalry 8 of the last 10 times we've played in it. They haven't won a game down there since 2004. It has been, by and large, a Florida State domination for a very long time. And you knew at some point that had to shift. And I feel like, unfortunately, it is this year. It is shifting. I know Miami won last year's game with a big comeback while we were in the midst of a terrible season, and that's fine, whatever. But I did have hope that this year was going to look different for us. And it turns out that Florida State, and this is an amazing stat, by the way, they're one of 3 Power 5 teams, are our Noles, that have started a different offensive line combination in each one of its games this year. So only 2 other teams in the country have had to do what we've had to do in regards to the shakeup on the offensive line, and it looks like this weekend will be no different. That is no way to go into a rivalry game against a team playing very, very good defense. Traditional numbers has Miami as the second-best defense in the country. Now,
I think they lead the country in tackles for loss as well.
Yeah. Well, Shaq Quarterman's good, man. He's got 13 solo tackles, 27 tackles as well. I mean, he's a good player, and that's not the only reason they're good. They're good off the edge. They're a good football team. And they do really thrive on turnovers. Some of it is luck. That's what turnovers often are. But they get to the passer. They wreak havoc, if you will.
And the problem is, let's just say that Dickerson was healthy and he did play in this game. Or, better put, he did play in this game. We know he's not 100% healthy or even close to it. You know, you can expose Miami through the air more than you can on the ground, I think, since you don't have a running quarterback, right? That would be the first choice, you know, doing stuff with his own read game, which is what we do bread and butter-wise. But, you know, DeAndre doesn't run the system all that well.
No.
But they will give up chunk plays in the passing game if they face a decent quarterback. Anybody who has a pulse and a decent arm, you can get to him. But, you know,
not if you can't block.
If you can't block, it always comes back to that basic point, which is what you've been harping on since Tuesday after Virginia Tech. If you can't block, it doesn't matter. You stood a better chance, though, if Landon Dickerson was in the game to be able to do some things through the air. What would have been the frustrating point for Wednesday through Friday would be, are we going to do that? You know, are we going to abandon our philosophies for their answer some in-game installations?
Their answer this week was that, of course, they're not going to abandon the run, and I do think you can't abandon the run. I think you can rely more heavily on the pass than the run, and I think that's what people are calling for, but I don't think you can abandon the run. This isn't an offensive line that allows you to drop back and throw it 50 times in a game. I think, again, sometimes it sounds like an oversimplification, but I don't believe that it is. I think that these grand discussions about strategy and opportunity and ways in which you can attack all are moot points because you can't block. And when you can't block, you can rely heavily on the run or rely heavily on the pass, and neither will work. Not with any degree of consistency because you can't block. It's just that simple. And that sucks, and I hate admitting that, and I hate talking in that way because it's such a defeatist way to approach a rivalry game. I get it. I get your anger. I get your frustration. I get the I don't want to hear this. It's Florida State-Miami week. I love the hell out of Florida State-Miami week, and all you've told me every day this week is that we're going to get blown out. Well, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you for the sake of your enjoyment. I'm going to tell you that I think we're going to get blown out because we can't block.
Yeah, but there's 2 sides to a blowout. If you're not able to be consistent in either the run or the passing game, that's not the end of the world if the race is to, say, 21, 24 points. But for it to be a blowout, you're saying that you don't trust the defense against Miami's offense either.
Not if we keep going 3 and out and they get good field position time and again, which, oh, by the way, let's note the fact that every time we get the ball to start a game, it's inside our 5, and they immediately get the ball back on the 50. No, I think the defense eventually gets worn down. I wouldn't even blame them. People got pissed in the Syracuse game, not me. They were out there for over 80 plays in a dome that's unair conditioned. I mean, at some point, they're looking across at that offense going, you impotent bastards aren't doing anything. It's 1,000 degrees in here. They've had the ball, the whole game. Things are going to break.
I don't know how to feel about the defense this week. Harlan Barnett spoke to the media today. He said that they were going to, quote, dumb it down for him.
I mean, with guys running wide open in the secondary, I guess you have to
at
some point.
It might be just 2-man. You got 2 high, you play some man coverage, and you have some safety nets behind there, but that puts it on the linebackers and the defensive line to do what they need to do. And I don't know, even if the D-line can open up some holes for them or get in the backfield to make a play here or there, if you need a linebacker to make a play in space against Miami's offensive weapons, can you count on them to do it? I'm not sure we can. So that's the hard part for me is I get it. If Landon's out, we're in really, really big trouble on offense. But what I'm interested to see is before this game gets out of hand, if it indeed does get out of hand, how does Harlan approach this week and installing for a team like Miami after we were gashed? It wasn't taken advantage of, but we were gashed last week with a lot of missed assignments, blown coverages, etc.
Well, he's got an interesting dynamic in play, and it's that he's going against a kid in N'Kosi Perry who made his very first start of his career just last week, and he was only asked to throw the ball 12 times. So he didn't have to do a thing. Now, he was good. I mean, he went 8 of 12 for 125 yards and a touchdown, did throw a pick. You know, it was pedestrian in the sense that he didn't have to do much, and he did what was necessary. Now, Miami's defense under Manny Diaz in his third year, again, has found a way to create turnovers. They've been really good in that regard. And, you know, at some point you just stop. You can't say it's all luck. They just find a way to create turnovers. They do it a lot. They scored 3 touchdowns on defense a week ago, 2 interceptions and a fumble return. So North Carolina's just giving the game away. Obviously, if we do that, we'll get our doors blown off as well. You know, but I fear that aspect of the game. If you're going back to Harlan Barnett against N'Kosi Perry, you have to flip that script there. You have to confuse this kid, and you're telling me you're making it more basic because we're not capable, and that is disconcerting.
Well, if you do that, then it's man blitzes, not zone blitzes, clearly. You know what I'm saying? But in looking at that offense, a couple of observations about N'Kosi Perry in his 12 attempts. He's inconsistent, but the flashes are impressive. There's a touchdown throw to the back of the end zone where he fits it in a very, very tight window. It's a quick little slant route. He's got a bit of a windup. It does take an extra tick. I'm not talking it's Byron Leftwich or anything like that, but it's just a little bit longer of a windup.
Interestingly enough, somebody compared him to Byron Leftwich.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that long, but it is noticeable that it takes him a little bit longer to get the football out of his hands. He does a decent job. It's about a coin flip of keeping his eyes downfield when he breaks the pocket. He does not know how to slide, so you might be able to get a free shot on him this weekend.
Anything to get Malik Rozier in the game.
If you can do so,
if you can do it,
take
make
that
it happen.
shot.
Yeah.
But there are times where he looks very much the part of a young quarterback who couldn't beat out Rozier in camp. And then there are other throws where you say, well, I don't know why they just didn't take a chance on this kid from the word go, because that arm talent's insane.
Well, he strikes me as a kid that seems to, and we'll see, we have such little film on him and very little game experience to make blanket statements about what he is or isn't. But, I mean, you know, when you listen to Miami people, they'll tell you that he was inaccurate in practice, and that's why he couldn't win the job away from Malik Rozier, who, by the way, is terribly inaccurate, so that makes you raise an eyebrow a little bit. But then when you saw him in the game, he looked the part much more than Malik Rozier does. He looks like a quarterback. He looks like a kid that, when the lights shine, is ready to play some football, and that might be who he is. We'll see. We don't have enough of a sample size to really know that. Do I think he's going to go on to become an elite player? No. But is he more than adequate and better than Malik Rozier? Probably. And, that's troubling.
Well, I believe he worked with Jameis in a camp at some point in the last couple of years. I thought I remember him posting about the two of them working together. There's one thing I saw that looks the same as Jameis. When he breaks the pocket, if he can get a throw and instinct takes over, it is pretty accurate. There's one play he makes. Again, it's only 8 throws that you can grade or take a look at against North Carolina, but there's one throw he makes rolling to his left. Everything is falling apart around him. So he rolls to his left, and he fires against his body momentum down the sidelines and hits a kid right in stride about 40 yards down the field. So there are moments where I'm sure this is why Miami fans cheer for him when he comes on the field immediately. They have to watch Rozier for a year and a half, and then they see this kid do those types of things. But if the magnitude of the moment gets to him, if there is actually game pressure on him, there was no pressure in this North Carolina game at any point on N'Kosi Perry. What does he do in those moments? How does composure look for the kid?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that you don't know about him, and I don't know if they'll be exposed. And I'll tell you this, if they're able, obviously, to run DJ Dallas, and, he had 114 yards in his last game and a touchdown against North Carolina, and obviously they're relying on the running game. They're averaging over 200 yards rushing a game right now. They're averaging well over 5 yards per carry right now. So they've been able to run the ball and take pressure off their quarterback, and they're going to want to do that here. What I like about Harlan Barnett is that he's hell-bent on stopping the run. And I think your lone chance here is to shut down the run and make N'Kosi Perry beat you. Maybe he does. Maybe we're not good enough in the secondary to stop him. Maybe they're talented enough at wide receiver where that ends up killing you. Mike Harley's a good player, so it could happen. But I would make him beat me because he's never had to beat anybody. He's never been asked to beat anybody, and I want want him to beat me in a rivalry game because I certainly don't want to get gashed by the run. So I'm going to do that. And if you are able to do that and you sell out to do it, I suppose you're in the game in the second half, and that's, again, you need to give me something in the second half that puts game pressure on him and puts game pressure on a kid that's never been asked to win.
Yeah, DJ Dallas can make plays out of nothing. Travis Homer is more of a bruising type back, but he does have the vision to cut back once in a while. So that's where, I mean, no matter what you would do, even if the defense was playing great coming into this game, we'd know linebacker play. Missing a gap or overrunning something. They can make you pay for that. Both backs can. But I would think if you're just lining up the way we have so far this season, we are more apt to be able to stop Homer between the tackles than we are DJ Dallas on the edge.
Why isn't Daryl Langham a better player for them, by the way? I mean, he's the kid who caught the ball against us a year ago, the wide receiver. Doesn't he just look like a stud? I mean, I'm surprised he's not more for them.
I don't know. I mean, Amon Richards was the guy that always jumped off, and then Berrios were the two that I liked.
Berrios is...
But he's gone, thankfully, after 17 years.
You knew exactly where he'd go.
Well, he would be open on third or fourth down when they had to have a play. And they would find him if they had to have a play.
I want you to answer my Daryl Langham question, Tom. I want to know why he's not better.
Well, in watching Miami play earlier this year, is he 4? What number is he? 4 is good. I just was watching and I was writing down numbers, so I don't know what Daryl Langham's number is.
I don't have it memorized. I have to go back and look either. I just remember looking at him going, well, that's going to be a problem. That freaking guy. He's a good player.
4 is good for them. Just know that as a receiver.
Oh, man. Did I sufficiently depress everybody with the opener there? Is everybody?
I don't know if it's the opener as much as Monday and Tuesday and then the 2 hours preceding this.
I actually think we did try to find a way to get there. We're trying. We're trying to kick down that door, baby. Give me an avenue. I'll cling to it. I'll hold on to it as I drive down to Miami and think through the many machinations in which we could attack this defense and find a way to make this an interesting game.
Legitimately, if you can protect Francois because they fell down or whatever reason. I mean, they fall down, they trip over their own legs, whatever. If you can give them a couple of seconds.
They're not going to suddenly start falling down.
Well, you never know. Maybe we can tie their shoelaces together, an old 1950s Looney Tunes trick.
Garvin and Jackson and Finley are all just going to fall down.
If they all fall down a couple of times this game and you give DeAndre a little bit of time, there will be plays out there. They will bust
so
the coverage,
long as
man.
those guys fall down. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
.501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Car get caught in some gridiron action? Take it to Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center. Now open at the new location on Lake Bradford Road. The new Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center is still providing the best car care and collision service in town with the same great people, but now at a new state-of-the-art facility off Lake Bradford Road. Come check it out for a free collision estimate and find out why Bob's Auto Repair and Collision has been rated #1 with FSU students in Tallahassee for over 35 years. Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center, 2293 Lake Bradford Road. Don't let your car get stuck on the bench this season.
License number MV01209.
The hardest working man in comedy is back. Kevin Hart. It's the Irresponsible Tour.
I caught my dad giving my kids raw candy out of his pocket. Candy with no wrapper. It was loose. It was just in his pocket. He said, huh.
The box office smash comedian, Kevin Hart.
Where the lines at on that peppermint?
Kevin Hart.
5 minutes go by, I saw my dad take that peppermint out of his mouth, put it back in his pocket. Those were half-sucked on peppermints.
Friday, October 12th in Tucker Civic Center. Get tickets at the box office and online at tuckerciviccenter.com. Don't miss Kevin Hart.
If you have hard water, the Lime Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining, bad odors, and lead with HydroCare water products available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to goodclearwater.com. That's goodclearwater.com.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. We get it. You're used to a certain kind of lemon lime experience. But why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Take this last second shot, or make the last second shot. Make this musical request, or this one. So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, last second shot, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
If you're a pro, you know the drill. Pull off the impossible. Keep it affordable. Don't cut corners. The Home Depot is up to the challenge with top names like the Kohler Wellworth toilet. Now at a great price, just $119, almost $30 off. You don't compromise. With Kohler, you won't have to. The Kohler Wellworth toilet, only $119. Now at the #1 Kohler retailer, the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through October 31st.
Tallahassee has always loved the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway for its delicious food, cold drinks, and Vegas wall of 8 50-inch flat-screen TVs. Now, the Corner Pocket gives you a new reason to start off every week at the CP, Monday Night Mania. Enjoy 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers of beer every Monday night from 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the gridiron. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm going to guess, by the way. I haven't double-checked this. I don't know. Maybe you have. Perhaps you know. But I have not seen whether or not I assume this is a sod game.
I would think so.
I mean, it's got to be a sod game.
Has
right?
to be.
Yeah. If it's not, what are we doing?
They should just uproot the entire field if we win this one.
Oh, golly.
Y'all play on the dirt. The Dolphins, too. Should never lost this game.
I got something to say about that. I will. I'll get to that. They lose this game. My goodness. I've got hellish plans for those.
We'll take the goalposts. We'll take the
He's got
sod.
everything under the sun, man. No, I got to do Miami radio tomorrow. Doing the tour.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The Wear It tour?
Well, you know, I haven't minded going on Miami radio for the better part of a decade. So I figure, it's my turn. I've gone on a number of shows down there, whether it's QAM or the others, and just been footloose and fancy-free, Tom. I've been able to say time and again, well, you guys don't have much of a chance, so best of luck in keeping it close. And, those are the kind of comments I've been making over the last several years.
Your sign-on should be, hey, guys, how's it going? I miss Randy Shannon, don't you?
Yeah. Well, or Al Golden. I miss Al Golden.
He was steadfast, though. I wonder what he's doing. Is he an assistant somewhere?
I'm sure. Yeah, I haven't really bothered to look up Al Golden as of late, but I imagine he's
selling some insurance
or a car. I told my Al Golden experience in the elevator cracks me up still. Just standing there as he walks in, it's just him and I. How you doing, Al?
He's the linebackers coach for the Detroit Lions. He's working under Matt Patricia. How about that?
Doing all right for himself as Al Golden. That sounds about right. It's I think so. Did you see this stat, by the way? Switch gears for a second and switch over just to big picture stuff in college football. In Ivy League football, they made changes, and this is kind of interesting. They made changes to their rules, and they are claiming in a study that was published in the Journal of American Medical Association that they have reduced concussion rates dramatically. The Ivy League introduced two key rule changes, and the NCAA approved it back in 2016. Kickoffs were moved up from the 45-yard line to the 40, and touchbacks from the 20-yard line to the 25. And the aim of the 5-yard move was to have more kickoffs land in the end zone, obviously, to incentivize returners to stay behind their goal line for a touchback and reduce kick returns, which they've been trying to do across the board in football in general. Kickoffs are considered, as you guys know, the most dangerous time in a football game. Statistically speaking, that is also true. It accounts for over 24% of head injuries, and they only make up just over. I think I read over 5% of the plays in a football game.
Wow, that's staggering.
Yeah. So if I remember that stat correctly, yeah, that's right. I think it's 5, maybe 6%, but something like that. And the introduction of the rule changes 2 seasons ago. The number of concussions on kickoffs fell 68%. From 10 concussions per 1,000 kicks to 2 per 1,000 kicks in Ivy League play. At the same time, kickoffs resulting in touchbacks increased from 18% to over 50%, as one would suspect. So you're not getting, they're just not returning kicks. And they've been moving to eliminate kickoffs, basically, we think, in football for some time now, and we'll see if it's a matter of time before they just decide everybody gets the ball in the 20 or the 25 or whatever, and we just start a game that way.
Can't you just start the game with a punt from the 50? Like your punter. There you go. Set up, line up like it's a real punt. You're not waiting on it. Just the punt returner's back there. That's it.
Well, there is a push for broader adjustments in the kicking game, Tom, and on all levels of football, starting on the lowest levels of football, which I completely understand. I mean, there's no reason for Pee Wee football to have kickoff.
I wouldn't be for that, by the way we protect and punts. Like, I wouldn't want to start the game that way at Florida State. I'm just saying.
I think we're getting close to, and it will be the end of an era, and I understand that a lot of people will hate it because there is skill to it and there is strategy to it, and you'll eliminate that, an entire aspect of football that has been in place for as long as the sport has been around, and there are people who made their entire careers on being just that, even Hall of Famers, great returners. But, if you're going to have, the Penn Injury Science Center telling you that, look, this is a fact. This isn't up for debate. We now know that this eliminates a major danger in the sport. Would people, I talk every day about how frustrated I am with the way they're calling NFL games and the way that you can't hit a quarterback and there's no real target area that's safe, or anything that looks or appears violent in any way gets flagged, and you're not allowed to play defense. I'll trade it off. I'll trade it out. I'll tell you what, allow guys to play football and eliminate kickoffs. Just allow us to play the game, and we'll all start on the 25, and let's go.
Same thing with onside kicks. Find out through analytics what yardage is really unsustainably. You can't convert on it, be it 4th and 17, 4th and 15, whatever it is, and replace an onside kick with a 4th and whatever play run from that yard marker, and you have to gain 15
so
yards.
you got
well, because onside kicks are really dangerous too.
Sure.
Super dangerous, in fact.
Wow, especially, the way they do them now is that if you're part of that return team, you take bitches out.
Right.
Your job is to assassinate.
And they've tried to split the field as much as possible.
Yeah.
You can only have so many people on one half of the ball and so many people on the other half of the ball. But, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well make radical changes right now.
Well, the NCAA implemented a new rule this year throughout all of college football that allows players to call for that fair catch, as you well know. And I am of the mindset that we're not calling enough for it.
No, and Willie said we're just going to keep returning it on Monday.
No.
Gene Williams asked him that question, and he said if we have a chance to return the football, we're going to return the football.
Because he said, as our athletes suggest we should. Well, not if we can't block it up without getting a penalty, and not if we can't successfully return one out to the 25-yard line, where if you call for a fair catch, you get the ball.
I was stunned by that answer. He says if it's in the end zone, it's too deep, we're going to kneel it. But if it's in the field of play, we're going to return it.
We've had countless kicks down to the 1 or the goal line or the 2, and if we just called for a fair catch, it's our ball on the 25, end of play, nobody's hitting, everybody's fine, and we've got good field position. But instead, we always return it, get hit at the 17-yard line,
and hold.
Here we go.
And we hold in the process.
No.
If it was the 20, I'd be okay with it a little bit more. But if it's at the 25, that changes things drastically.
Of all the things that we need to see in what is appearing to be a fairly lost season, and again, you could shock the world on Saturday and our tune changes dramatically. Admittedly, if we are sitting there 4-2 with back-to-back wins in the ACC, including one over our arch rival, heading into the bye week before hosting Wake Forest, what we thought was possible is turned on its head. Okay. I got you. If that happens, fine. But assuming what I think is going to happen and that it turns out to be true, then you look for markers. You look for things that you see that are getting better than they were a year ago or they have been up to this point to hang your hat on. And I think almost number one on that list, because you can't change the offensive line overnight, you got to have better personnel, is can we figure out something on special teams at any point? We have just been ridiculously poor on special teams going on forever. We have stunk. We were awful under Jimbo, and it's not much better now. Damn it, man. Give me something. Show me that progress. Because it's not going to be in the win column this year. Give me something on special teams.
Well, I think I feel more confident with old ice in his veins kicking the ball from 45 than I do from 32 at this point. It seems like he eases up on short kicks. But if you have a long kick this weekend, hey, buddy,
feel good about it?
I feel much better.
Don't you curse us like that.
I feel better from 52 than I do from 38.
What if it's to win it from 48?
Oh, to win it? So we're trailing. Is it a tie game or are we trailing?
We're down 1. I changed your body chemistry just now. I saw you just temporarily go, ooh, don't do that. Like you spooked
That's called
me.
a recoil.
Cordless specials are heating up at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener in October. Buy a Makita brushless premium 5 amp-hour kit with 2 batteries and get a 6 amp-hour battery free. Plus, get your choice of the following: brushless recip saw, circular saw, half-inch impact drill, or a Bluetooth radio. Get rid of the gas with the Makita outdoor power equipment. Buy a brushless chainsaw or blower kit and receive 4 5 amp-hour batteries and a dual bay chamber. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener with 2 locations to choose from: 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays 8 until noon.
The holidays are coming. Well, in a few months, and that's why now is the time to shower up with a beautiful custom bath or shower enclosure from Widden Glass. Don't wait for the holiday rush. Widden Glass will take care of you this summer to your complete satisfaction. They've been helping to design and install bath and shower enclosures for Tallahassee homeowners for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with real glass people, experienced, reliable professionals. Widden's top-of-the-line bath and shower enclosures provide style and luxury at an affordable price. With the holidays coming, that means family, and that means now is the time to shower up with style.
Call today. Widden Glass, the real glass people. 222-5781 or online at widdenglass.com. WHIDDON. Widden, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. 222-5781.
You started a DIY project at home. Then you realize convenience isn't always easy. The why in DIY doesn't mean why is this so hard? At ADT, we DIFY, do it for you. We customize and install a secure smart home that you control from the palm of your hand or the sound of your voice. Smart security, designed and installed just for you with ADT. Visit ADT.com/smart to learn more. License information available at ADT.com. ADT. Real protection.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
The hardest working man in comedy is back. Kevin Hart. It's the Irresponsible Tour.
I caught my dad giving my kids raw candy out of his pocket. Candy with no wrapper. It was loose. It was just in his pocket. He said, huh.
The box office smash comedian, Kevin Hart.
Where the lines at on that peppermint?
Kevin Hart.
5 minutes go by, I saw my dad take that peppermint out of his mouth, put it back in his pocket. Those were half-sucked on peppermints.
Friday, October 12th in Tucker Civic Center. Get tickets at the box office and online at tuckerciviccenter.com. Don't miss Kevin Hart.
Headed to the new Gordos, cause Eddie hit a home run just like the old Gordos.
Jeff, I'm sitting right here, man. Why do you always speak about me in the third person?
Loving the new Gordos.
You gotta quit singing, man.
Got the outside deck. When the weather shifts, I'm gonna sit outside at the new Gordos.
Are we ever gonna get there? Can you speed up, please?
Lots of TVs.
1460 Market Street.
Woohoo.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports History. October 3rd, 1995. O.J. Simpson, former USC Trojan and Buffalo Bills standout running back, was acquitted of the murders of his estranged wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman, in a sensational trial that gripped the world. The whole planet seemed to watch the trial that brought controversy concerning the evidence and race relations.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Tailgate. Not at 6 in the morning.
That would be. You don't want to maintain if you're tailgating at 6 in the morning.
No. Got no chance there. It's the 25th anniversary of the game of the century in South Bend when we hit the road to Chicago in November. You know, were you watching the baseball game last night? Because if you were, you saw the fine folks there at Wrigley Field wearing long sleeves, hoodies, and hats. I thought, wow. What's it going to be like when we get there in November?
That trip's only a month away, dude.
We're turning to Game Day Excursions for convenience and comfort. With Game Day Excursions, your Saturday is taken care of. Starts with a bottomless mimosa/Bloody Mary reception at Chicago's Field Museum. Lovely museum. Includes premium bus transportation to and from South Bend, as it's known, and a VIP-style tailgate with free food and beer. Head to GameDayExcursions.com. Use the promo code JCS. Use it at checkout for $10 off each order. That's GameDayExcursions.com. Compelling that game will be. Not because of the on-field product from us, but just the experience of going to South Bend.
Apparently the fans there are pretty good, too.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're great fans. They're great fans. They're you know, you find that traditionally when you go to places that have been doing it for a long time and they've experienced the highs and the lows that college football provides, like we're in the midst of wearing kind of a low point for us right now, you learn. You learn, you live and learn, and you pass it on. And so when you've won national championships and you've had dreadfully awful seasons in which you win 3 games, like they did just a few years ago, you learn to deal with it.
In 2011, when we were at the Champs Bowl, I went to that. And,
I did too.
at
Orlando.
Front row seat in press row, which means that you crack open the window in front of you. It's an old school stadium, so every seat has its own little window. So I open it, but then the fans are sitting right in front of you. I mean, it's almost like not a stadium step up for the press row.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a Notre Dame fan sitting there, old guy, really nice. And he kept on looking back because he knew we had TVs in there.
Every time to know the replay.
There were 3 reviews that happened. All of them were Florida State rulings on the field, and so he's hoping for good news. And I would have given him, you
would have told him
the
the
honest
truth,
answer. Each time it happened, I said, I don't know if he did, man, but there's not enough there for that to overturn. And by the 3rd time, so really, you're telling me that you've got a third 50-50 call here in a row against us? Yes. This is true.
I like old-timers, man. I've told you, like those 2 old-timers sitting there at the Pitt game, Jameis's debut. I'm sitting with my father. By the 3rd or 4th throw, pinpoint accuracy from Jameis, the old man turns to his son, I think it was, and his son was old, so that means he was really old. He's like, this effing guy, this is what he's bringing to the table tonight? We're going to get our blankety-blank killed. We got nothing for this. And then him looking back over at me like I'm responsible for that. I don't know what to tell you, man. Kid's good. This is ridiculous. Look at this kid.
Was the son putting up much of a fight, or was
the son just nodding his head? They were drinking a beer, just nodding their head like.
And they tell that story the rest of their lives.
Oh, they were there.
They went on. They were one of the great teams in college football history.
Yeah.
And we got a front row seat for it.
And they began by kicking our ass. Here we were, hopeful, going against a redshirt freshman. Then that kid comes out, throws Nick O'Leary open, and we're like, well, that was a nice throw for that guy. And the next thing, boom, pew, 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 pew.
3rd and 22, no problem.
And they're like, okay, this is going to be the kind of funny games they're having around here, huh?
We have audio of their car ride home.
Terry, then you talk to me.
They weren't that. Here's the deal: they weren't that passionate because they're Pitt fans. It's been a long time. It hasn't been a thing where they could really.
Did you chant, "This is life in the ACC, man"? Welcome to the ACC.
No, because I was concentrating on how damn soaking wet I was from the deluge that happened from the time we left our hotel room to the time we got to the stadium. And, of course, it stopped as soon as we got to the stadium.
It was fine for the game.
It was perfect, and I've never been more so.
You know what's funny about that game, before it got really, really good, is Jameis had to come out for a play. He lost his helmet.
Right.
And Coker comes in for a snap. And then the first 3rd and short, Jimbo calls an end-around play or a jet play
it gets stopped
to Kelvin Benjamin. Of all players,
and you're like, what are we doing?
Everybody at the watch party is furious, saying, there goes Jimbo again.
Here
goes
Jimbo.
Freaking Jimbo.
Lest we forget, that was a common refrain around here. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Look around. That's right, you see Nissans everywhere. Tallahassee has officially become a Nissan town. Kraft Nissan Town. Why? Because Kraft Nissan has the best pricing, best selection, and the best buying experience in town. And at Kraft Nissan, you get the best value for your dollar with more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our easy choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our New For You program that helps people with damaged credit, and every new 2018 Nissan we sell has available 0% interest for 60 months, plus $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They'll greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Guys, when that little voice in your head suddenly tells you, hey, it's time to get your hair in the game, then it's time to check in online at sportclips.com/check-in.
Time to claim your spot.
Hear that? That's the sound of your hair reminding you that anytime is a good time to log on, check in, and reserve your spot at your favorite Sport Clips for a fresh cut, legendary hot steam towel, and massaging shampoo. No matter if it happens at the gym, while grabbing a quick lunch, or trying to line up a putt, you can't deny your hair. So do it a favor by checking in online at sportclips.com/check-in. We'll tell you when to arrive to be just in time for your Sport Clips MVP haircut experience while you surround yourself with sports on TV. Check it out today and claim your spot wherever you are. Just go to sportclips.com/check-in. At Sport Clips, getting a game-changing haircut is easier than ever.
Time to claim your spot.
Hey, sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite, Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
This is the cigar event you've been waiting for. Jerry's Cigar Shop brings to you the legendary Christian Aurora, master blender and owner of CLE Cigars. Friday, October 5th, at their Cary Forest shop. Bring a friend and come enjoy some live music, cold beer, and great grub from Tallahassee's very own food truck, Tally Mac Shack. You won't want to miss out on exclusive giveaways and a huge raffle. Mark your calendars now for the biggest cigar party yet at Jerry's Cigar Shop on Friday, October 5th. Only at their Cary Forest shop.
Makita cordless specials are heating up at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener in October. Buy a Makita brushless premium 5 amp hour kit with 2 batteries and get a 6 amp hour battery free. Plus, get your choice of the following: brushless recip saw, circular saw, half-inch impact drill, or a Bluetooth radio. Get rid of the gas with the Makita outdoor power equipment. Buy a brushless chainsaw or blower kit and receive 4 5 amp hour batteries and a dual bay chamber. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener with 2 locations to choose from: 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays 8 until noon. Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Geez, dude, you need to change your blinker fluid.
That's not a thing.
And your thoracic couplet is totally shot.
Really?
It is.
Look, nothing gets by me. Just like this oil filter. Nothing gets by Purolator.
Hey, if you're using Purolator Boss, you know your stuff.
Oh yeah, protection up to 15,000 miles.
Ooh, but you really should replace your Vesuvius valve.
Stop talking.
Now get a Purolator Boss premium oil filter and 5 quarts of synthetic oils for $32.99 at Advance Auto Parts. See store for details.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. Postseason baseball. We have it for you tonight. Oakland and New York. Wild card 808. Wild coverage will bring at 7:30, I think that is?
7:30, clean and easy for us.
Well, coming up next, Front Row Knowles. I was talking to the fellas earlier today, and I know they're coming in for Front Row Knowles, and I'm excited about that. It's interesting. I like to hear opinions that might differ greatly from mine right now, because when my opinion is as negative as it is about our chances to win a football game, I want to hear somebody else whom I respect say, no, you could be wrong. I see it another way. I want a glimmer of hope to latch on to. I don't have it. I'll tell you this much, though. Miami, well, just as much as I'm willing to admit to you that this is not a favorable matchup for us this year, and that it looks like the rivalry game is going to go your way this season. And with that come the spoils, and you deserve it because you were on the wrong end of it for a long time. So I get your anticipation and your excitement.
They may not deserve it, but they're going to get it. Yeah.
I think they're going to get it. So what I would tell you is this. Don't lose. I'll be the most obnoxious talk show host you've ever heard, and that's saying something, especially if you're a fan of anything from down in Miami. So all of next week will be your worst nightmare if we win this game. Tom and I will dedicate hours to montages that are borderline obscene. I mean, it's going to be, you want to talk about emasculating. Lose this game.
Yeah, it'll be your own cartoon moment, which is the horse's head in The Godfather. Every day. Just roll up the sheets, and there it is.
It may happen for the rest of the year. I may dedicate the rest of the season to making fun of your sorry asses for choking away this game this year and continuing a streak that now stretches almost 20 years. Losing at home to us.
Yeah, the home streak. Yeah,
that's what
true.
I mean. Yeah, it's a long time, Tom. Jeez.
You didn't have any kids in 2004.
No, I did not. Wasn't even close, really. Wasn't even close to having kids.
Were you married yet in 2004? It was September of 2004.
14 years ago?
Yeah.
No. I wasn't even married. It was close. I was dating my now wife. But, no, we weren't married. So we certainly didn't have kids, and we weren't married. One time, this brings me up to something that cracks me up. And listen, again, I'm just going to reiterate. I doubt I'm going to get the joy of what I just described, which would be endless montages of making fun of Miami. And random at that, like we would do it during the bye week. We would do it during the Clemson week. We'd have a montage for the Miami win. Right before we leave to fly to Chicago to go to the Notre Dame game, we'd have a little montage about us beating Miami. This is what lies in wait if you choke away this game and this opportunity, Miami, as a huge favorite at home against a team not equipped to compete in this here contest this year, in my opinion. So don't lose that. I'm just saying.
I just looked it up because I wanted to know for certain. The night that that Miami last beat us. That was a Friday. It was a Friday. They moved it up because of a hurricane in 2004.
Oh, you mean down there? Okay.
Yeah, down there. So last time they beat us. That was the first night I started covering sports. I was working for the St. Petersburg Times doing my first article.
You were a child, literally.
I was 17 going on 18 years old.
You were not a man yet.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. And I was writing Friday night write-ups for Countryside Dunedin.
Woo!
In Tampa for the St. Pete Times.
That's crazy. Was Bob Stevens the coach at Countryside at that time?
No, John Davis was.
All right.
And John Davis swung the door open. Actually, it took off my big toenail that night. I was walking to the field.
That was your introduction to covering Countryside.
I was walking to the field, and this door swings open, and it's about 2-3 inches off the ground.
Son of a bitch.
And I'm wearing flip-flops, as you do in high school especially, and bam, it just ripped. Yeah, so I had to go to the treatment table while they were doing pregame treatments for the football players, and I was sitting next to the football players.
Battle scar covering the team as a writer at 17 years old.
Pouring peroxide on that open wound. It was
terrible.
Like
you're a photographer in Vietnam. They caught me with a scrape from that tree.
I was sitting next to a kid who got kicked out of my high school and transferred to Countryside. And he said, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Covering the game. Guess you're playing, huh? He goes, "Oh, I'm starting." Yeah.
Now I lost track of where I was going with my story.
Well, you said you'd be obnoxious.
Well, no, I did, but then I was going to go on into something else, and I forgot what it was now. Oh, I know what it was. You asked me if I was married, and I said no. One of the many joys of this job is obviously having, and it's okay because it comes with the territory. People talk about you and say things that simply aren't true or imagined in ways that are hard to imagine. I had somebody one time on a message board suggest that not only had I been married previous to the marriage, and I haven't. I've only been married to my wife.
Wait, I'm sorry. So somebody said that you were married before?
Yeah. One time on a message board, somebody said that they had worked with me at a previous place of employment, and that they were around when I went through my first divorce, and that I had cheated on my wife. And this was like a message board thread. And my favorite part about that was I've never been married before, and so obviously this person made up a whole thing about working with me and marriage and all this other stuff. And the person who saw it on the board called me and said, "Do you realize there's somebody there saying that you were married, that they worked with you, and that you got a divorce because you cheated on your wife?" And I'm like, I've never been married.
Must have been a long week in Vegas, buddy.
I mean, yeah, it was hilarious. But no, happily married, coming up on 14 years.
There you go. Okay.
Ooh, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Right, because 14 again. Yeah.
That's a long time.
I'm a teenager 14
and Miami
years
hasn't
ago.
won in all of that time down there.
That is quite the span.
They have not done it, Tom.
I thought my luck was bad not seeing a home victory over an in-state rival in my 4 years at Florida State.
Imagine you're them.
My goodness.
And they've had their heart ripped out several times down there, too.
They've actually beaten Florida in that time
yeah.
in Miami.
But not us, Tom.
But not us.
They have not beaten us, not down there, no. This is their best opportunity. To fall short this time around would be devastating in a way that surpasses all of the other failures, of which there are numerous to choose from. So when you have a bounty of opportunities to look and say, no, that was very sad when we lost that one. What about 06? No, that was bad. 06 was bad. 08, what'd you think about 08's loss? 08 I was kind of prepared for.
Truly
what about
is
2010? I don't know. 2010, I didn't feel it one way or the other.
This truly is their best opportunity, and they've had a lot of
Greatest
good ones.
opportunity.
But they've had a lot of good ones.
They have, but this is by far, well, first of all, the whole nation is expecting this coronation, this moment, the baton to be passed, where Miami is now officially the best team in the state along with UCF, and to drop it here. It's like a gold medal race, and you just drop the baton again.
It is legitimately UCF for the moment. They're the best team in the state.
I'd take Miami over UCF.
You would?
I would.
Okay. The linebacker plays we talked about earlier, they could be manipulated a little bit, and UCF's scheme would be perfect for that.
UCF's defense isn't what it was a year ago, and so I would take Miami in a shootout. In a shootout. I'm not saying it's a
DJ Dallas versus Milton.
Yeah, I don't think it's a slam dunk. I think it's just it's a pretty close game. It depends on where the game was played. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on where the game was played. Neutral site, though, I think I'm leaning towards the Canes.
Like Tampa. Put it in Tampa. There's neutral right there.
Who would you take?
I'd take UCF.
Well, but I hope that game happens. I want to bet you.
There's a bowl game.
That'd be a fun bowl game. All right. Front Row Knowles up next. Don't forget, right after that, we've got the AL wildcard game for you. Stay tuned. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Be well, everybody.